Hey, onesies, Josh Williams here, and thanks for checking out this week's episode of the One Man Podcast. It's always free and available on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, and many more, as well as on the web at onemanpodcast.com. So please, whatever platform you're listening on, like and subscribe. While you're at it, give it a rating, leave a review. Why? Because it helps the podcast, and I'd really appreciate it. How about that? What about social media? Search One Man Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to keep up with what's going on there. Get a little extra content for yourself. And finally, to get in touch, please send your emails to contact@onemanpodcast.com. You send it, I read it on the podcast. That's the deal. Thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode.
What's up, everybody? This is DJ Demers.
I'm K. Trevor Wilson.
Hey, it's Krista Allen.
Hi, this is Rick Mercier.
What's up, guys? This is Paul Verzi, and you are listening to the One Man Podcast. Yeah!
My name is Josh Williams, and welcome to the One Man Podcast, episode number 179 for Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. How's it going, onesies? Look at you guys. A big flood of old due episodes in the last little while coming your guys' way. All sorts of fun things we're talking about. I had some guests. I had a bonus episode out for you guys. All sorts of fun things. I am the gift that keeps on giving. Just fucking with you. I have a little bit of stuff to talk about this week. Still recovering from the wisdom teeth extraction. I did my checkup with them. I had a few other things like basic, just human being stuff. Like, I had to get an oil change. You know what I mean? You know, you people who take the bus, you wouldn't know the horrors that we have to go through. Us people with vehicles, taking care of. And I mean, let me tell you, all right, the last time I had a fight with my maid who was cleaning my yacht. No, I'm kidding. All these different things. I'm fucking with you. No, I had to get an oil change. We had some stuff canceled. I watched some more movies while recovering. I played some games. I got a big list of stuff here, not to mention the fact that I have a few things we didn't get to on the last podcast. I had some friends that were in, and my pal Angie is back with me again this week. Angie, thank you for doing the podcast with me again.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So we're going to talk about the box of stuff that I sent Angie. She has received it. She has played with it. I guess, sampled it. She was juggling chocolate bars. That's what she was playing with it. What else? Finished some games, all sorts of fun stuff. In fact, I've even got something I want to chat with that might make one of my listeners who hasn't been listening lately a little uncomfortable, but we were all encouraging him to make a move. That should be the song that I play for the outro. I might have to actually write that down. But Angie's here. We're going to start talking about all sorts of stuff. Nice, funny thing. Sorry, I got to just write down the name of that song so I can put that on the end. So why don't we just get right to it? As much as it's like not really anything to talk about, I was real late getting this oil change. I got a chance, so I'm just giving a shout out to some of the podcast listeners. My buddies Robin and Narong at Barhaven Honda, all the dudes in the service there. Everyone was great. They took amazing care of me. I brought a book because I was waiting around for an oil change. At least I thought I'm going to be waiting around for an oil change, and instead I'm getting all these stories there. But the reason I bring up going for it was I was chatting with like Narong and Robin, and both of those guys, like Narong has lived in Cambodia, and they were talking about how like in the houses there's like spiders and iguanas and things like that. That'll just like, when you go to sleep, there's like nets over your bed because, yeah, well, I thought like they were mosquito nets, and some of them are, but there's also other ones that are, because like Robin was telling me, he's the sales manager, and he was saying that like, yeah, you'll be like, just you'll be walking through a living room and a fucking lizard will fall off the ceiling and just like either hit you in the head or whatever. So like when you're sleeping, they have the net. So if something falls off the ceiling, like the net catches, doesn't fall on you while you're sleeping.
Wow.
And I was like, that's fucked up.
That I did not know.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't live in those places. And this is not like, hey, when you're in the jungle camping, this is like the cities and towns. There's just lizards and shit that live in some of these areas. And they're like, yeah, they'll fall on your face sometimes. Like, what are you going to do? And I'm
the
like,
big iguanas, you mean, right?
Yeah, like, well, iguanas. I don't think they have geckos. Fuck, what do I know? But that's what they're saying, like iguanas or bearded dragons or whatever the fuck they are. Oh big ass spiders too, because like everything lives in your. I'm like, yeah, I can't live like that. Now, this is something I want to ask Angie. I didn't organize it this way. It just happens to be that you're back on and we're talking about that. I have always talked about how One of the things that's nice about living in Canada, like there's no perfect place to live in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like there's some places that look beautiful, but then you're getting attacked by fucking hurricanes and tsunamis, and there's poisonous spiders and shit that's going to kill you. Like there's no perfect place to live. Everything has its downside. And I always said, like, as much as like California and the southern part of the States is nice, you guys have like scorpions and rattlesnakes and all sorts of shit like that. I'm like, you know, you move to Florida, you let your dog out in the backyard to take a piss and an alligator eats it. Like there's always something that you have, you know, shake out your boots and make sure there's no snakes under your car. Like now you live in Texas. Do you guys have to watch out for like snakes and scorpions and that kind of shit? Like, does that shit just slither into your garage in the morning?
No, not really. Nothing like where I live in Texas. No, we don't have to worry about that. And especially that I live in the city. Yeah. We get like your typical insects like roaches or like just, you know, bugs and spiders, but they're tiny. They're not like the big ones. But no, but my parents, where they live, they're about 2 hours away from me. That's the country. So yeah, like I would get like it's rare that you find them, but the horny toads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, and it depends if you have animals, like farm animals, then that's when the snakes start coming in, because they, you know, there's snakes that eat the eggs, you know what I mean? They eat the food, and then there's rats or mice, because again, you have food for the animals, so that plays a lot of a part in that. So yeah, like the snakes do play a part and stuff like that, but only if you have like farm animals and stuff like that, then they tend to get drawn to you and stuff like that. Okay. And then also, you live out in the country, so everybody around you has farms and
like even here, like if you live in the country, there's more odds that you're gonna get like coyotes or you know, fishers. Do you know what a fisher is? It's like a fucking ferocious groundhog, little nasty cocksucker, like a Tasman. It doesn't look like a Tasmanian devil, but it's just got that nature of like this angry little cunt. You know what I mean? That's like, I'm gonna see if I can get a picture while we're talking about it. But yeah, because Canada, we have mice and rats too. So the idea is like you can get those animals at any point if, you know, you have food, right? They're trying to get somewhere or whatever, they'll do it. The funny thing is I don't even know how to spell fisher. I'm gonna try to do this and see if I get it. Fisher, let's do animal. Fisher animal. So there's like they're nasty little cocksuckers. Oh, it's literally just Fisher. I thought it would be like, you know, Fisher, like SCH or something.
Like a silent letter.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you can see this on the camera or whatever, if it's too bright or anything, but it's kind of like, they're kind of like little, like little badger kind of things, but they're nasty. They'll attack. Yeah. Well, don't get too near one.
Really?
Yeah.
What do they do?
I don't know. Let's go to Wikipedia and see what we can get from it, just for fun. The fisher is a small carnivorous mammal native to North America. That's you and me. It is a member of the mustelid family, of course, right? I have no idea what that is. And is the monospecific genus Picania. The fisher is closely related to, but larger than, the American martin. Also don't know what that is. Come on, give me more. Gonna have to read more on this fucking thing. Come on, Wikipedia. Give me the answer here. American martin. The fisher is a forest-dwelling creature whose range covers much of the boreal forest in Canada to the northern United States. Names derived from Aboriginal languages, blah, 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 blah. It is sometimes misleadingly referred to as a fisher cat, although it is not a cat. Anything else in these guys? Yeah, they're showing kind of like the belt. So I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, of course not yet. We're waiting for the, okay.
Oh, there it is.
So you see,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can point with my finger. This range right here near the bottom, that's like all Ontario where I live. And of course you can see the US border. So northern United States, and then like heavy where I am. There's not like there's shitloads. I've never seen one, but in the country you get them. Yeah, it says male and female fishers look similar. Adult males are something, blah, blah, blah. The fur of the fisher varies seasonally, being denser and, like any other fucking animal in the cold. During the summer, the color becomes more mottled as fur goes through the melting, yada, yada. The fisher prefers to hunt in full forest. Although an agile climber, it spends most of its time on the forest floor, where it prefers to forage around fallen trees. An omnivore, the fisher feeds on a wide variety of small animals and occasionally on fruits and mushrooms. It prefers the snowshoe hare. Okay, so it's going after rabbits. and is one of the few animals able to prey successfully on porcupines. So there you go. Wow. You can tell it's a nasty little fucker if it can take down a porcupine.
That is nuts.
Yeah, despite its common name, it rarely eats fish, is what it says. It's called a fisher. Reproductive cycle lasts. They nurse and care for their kits until late summer. Fishers have few predators besides humans. They have been trapped since the 18th century for their fur. Their pelts were in such demand that they were extirpated. Don't know what that means, but I can click on the word. Give me that word. Local extinction. Okay. So you can get extinct in a localized area. Extricated from several parts of the United States in the early part of the 20th century. You Americans have to kill everything. No, I'm kidding. Conservation and protection measures have allowed the species to rebound, but their current range is still reduced from its historic limits. Something. Okay. Well, anyways, now you know what it looks like. Now you know what it is. A little angry cocksucker. But I always joke that but that stuff's like, again, country, right? We have coyotes, we have rats and mice in the city. You can get roaches here and stuff too. But I always joke that at least in Canada, we don't have lizards on the ceiling and shit like that. How funny would that be? Because we're FaceTiming. You guys can't tell we can see each other. Just funny, but you can see my roof. Imagine I'm we don't have that shit here. And you see one scurry across my ceiling and in the background. We don't have that. Drops down onto my face. What the fuck? But so yeah, I always say that as much as it's cold in Canada, at least you don't wake up and have to shake scorpions out of your boots. Anything that can kill you in Canada, you can see coming. I do know that in Alberta, which is the Canadian Texas, that's where our oil fields are and racists and everything like that. But yeah, in Alberta, that's the thing. You're going to find cougars and stuff there. But, but I always say that in mountain lions and stuff like that, not big ones, but you're going to find the small bobcat kind of things. We get lynx here in Canada. You know what a lynx is, right? Yeah, we get those here. But it's in Canada, I always say that anything that can kill you, you can see coming for a while. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you're not going to
hang around.
Yeah, it's not going to be a snake coiled up under your car. You go to open the door and you get bit under your car or something like that. You know what I mean? Or shake a scorpion or a deadly spider out of your boot. You know what I mean? A crocodile's not crawling under your fence in Canada. You know what I mean? So that kind of shit. So I'm as much as it does get cold during the winter, and it's not brutal, but it gets cold during the winter. It's at least you lived in Germany and that's way closer where we were. So it's not lower by the equator. So you kind of know what a winter is like. It's not the end of the world. You just put on a jacket in a toque and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
And I lived in Colorado too. So
yeah. Well, I mean, that's significantly south of Canada. But it does get, because of the altitude, it does get colder there for sure.
It does get cold and snow. It was fun.
Yeah. People act like you're in an Arctic blizzard, like you're in New York City and it's sunshine and you drive 2 hours north and all of a sudden it's the Arctic. You're no, it's still the same. But I just thought that was interesting. And I realized because you live in Texas, you're the perfect person asking, hey, do you guys have to, so you don't have to watch for snakes in your garage or anything like that?
No, nothing like that. I think, again, I can only speak for myself. Where my parents live, when I used to live with them, obviously, there was hardly any people around us. So there were snakes. Actually, there used to be coyotes where we lived. We would hear them, but they never came to our land or whatever. And especially since my dad built a fence and stuff like that, because the coyotes would come and they would steal the dogs to eat them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you would have to make a big fence around the yard and stuff. But
my friend has to bring his cat in. He lives outside of the city, not far, but just, and it's funny too, because even in Ottawa, the way Ottawa's expanding, I have been driving home at 2 a.m. and I don't want to say the middle of the city, but there's still lots of suburbs, but on a road, and there's a coyote just standing in the middle of the road. I'm like, dude, get out of the fucking road. You're going to get hit by a car, buddy. Just looking at me. Yeah. So that's the thing. I remember there was, I think, it was a moose. A moose was on the highway here, the expressway.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, and it was big news. Everyone was like, how the fuck, did it get this far onto the express? And which sucked, broke my heart at the time, but they had to kill it.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, well, they're so big, and there's they couldn't get it, And they're I don't know if you've ever seen a moose. They're big fucking animals. Like
Never seen them, but I'm pretty sure I can just imagine how big
they're
like, I know their
big.
antlers from one end to the other is like over 7 feet.
Yeah, and they're big and they're strong. You know what I mean? Like it's powerful, so you wouldn't want to fuck with it. So yeah, so I guess they had no choice. But I remember being bummed, and I'm like, it's not its fault. It doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Aww.
But anyways, like, so when people are like, oh, Canada, it's like these wild animals everywhere. Like, you're never going to see a fucking polar bear anywhere near where I live. But that's what I'm saying. Like, but if for some chance one wondered, like, there's the odd time. And I mean, like, once every 10 years, you'll hear about like someone seeing a bear near the city. But it's like stories in California where someone sees a bobcat in Beverly Hills. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the same idea. It's like, yeah, they kind of live near there. And every now and again, one wanders in a little too far. But you know, I've never seen a live bear other than a zoo. Okay. I've seen fucking grizzly bears in the zoo. Those are big motherfuckers. But,
they're big.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so it was interesting to me. That burned up a good amount of time too. How about that? I thought it was just like a stupid story, but I always find that stuff interesting. And of course, as usual, onesies, if any of you guys have seen stuff, you've experienced life better than I have. But that's cool because again, my preconceived notion about Texas was that like you guys haven't like just a general, like, yeah, you know, the rule is when you go outside your garage, you kind of just, you know, you don't leave a lot of stuff on the floor. So there's not a lot of places for something to coil itself up behind that you don't see. And, you know, like if there was just regular procedures, because, you know, the hospitals down in those areas, like Arizona, I'm sure you got to be careful of that because it's mostly desert and shit. Mm-hmm. But like those hospitals would be so equipped with different kinds of like anti-venoms for snakes. Whereas like hospitals up here might have some. But
I see what you mean.
We're not getting, we don't have diamondbacks. Like the only person who's getting bit by like a rattlesnake in Ontario is some asshole who bought one somewhere else and then brought it to his house and, you know.
Oh no.
You know, like, you know what I mean? Like somebody who's like, I call like rare animal, like someone with a Komodo dragon. You're like, they don't exist in North America, shy of it, fucking zoos and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Assholes that bring them here. Introduce them into our ecosystem. There are like 20 of them. They're breeding. Great. Can't wait till those are a mainstay here. Oh man, Komodo dragons are fucked up too. Because have you ever seen them?
Beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, well, the thing is that I'm a reptile. Like I love reptiles.
That's right.
I used to have an iguana too.
Yeah. Something about the Komodo dragon, the way it bites you, and then its mouth is so like slobbery and toxic that it doesn't have to do anything else. It just basically follows you around for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like that horror movie. It Follows. That's it. It just follows you around until the toxin has taken you over and you can't. It's not like, and now it's dead from it. It's just until you can't move anymore. It starts eating you while you're still alive.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Horrifying? Yes. I agree with you. Horrifying. Can you getting eaten alive?
No, I can't imagine that. I would never be near one, nor have it as a pet. But I wouldn't mind seeing one.
I've seen them at the Toronto Zoo.
Them in the jungle, like they do. Oh my God, they have them at zoos.
Yeah, Toronto Zoo has them.
That I did not know.
Yeah, I know there's monitor lizards, and I don't know if that's a Komodo dragon and just the other name for it. But I've seen monitor lizards too.
Well,
and they look very similar to Komodo dragons. The monitor lizards.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're smaller, but they look like in terms of their body and everything like that, look very, very similar.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Fucking weird shit. Now I gotta like look under my desk every 2 seconds, see if a snake's gonna fucking bite me or whatever. Goddamn lizard's gonna fall off the ceiling.
You're annoying now.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. I paid for this. This is mine. Anyways,
a spider's gonna come out of the corner.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about them. Apparently, you're never more than 6 feet away from a spider your entire life.
Well, I heard that like even spiders, like when you go to sleep, that there's spiders that come out and they'll crawl over your face.
Oh yeah, I hear you swallow like 2 spiders a year.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting too. And in candies.
Oh, you could. They put them in there, or that they're somehow broken like into candies?
No, they're not put in there. Like apparently, because candies are made in a factory and stuff. Like, how do you know for sure? They say there's about like every candy bar, there's probably like 4 spiders or 2 spiders in there. I read about this
in every candy bar.
Yeah, in every candy bar.
What's that going to cost me?
In other words, like you're more than likely to eat an insect that's inside a candy bar because of. I don't know.
As long as I don't notice, I know, like, let's put it this way. I know that they have like chocolate covered and caramel covered crickets and shit like that. And like, you'll see these little like millipedes covered in shit in other countries. No. And honestly, I think that that's just a dirty factory. And that's how it started. It started as like a dirty factory, and someone's like, you know, kids, eat it. I can't afford to get you any more. You know, yeah, it's got a spider in it. It's extra protein. Eat it. Like, no, oh, it's not bad. It's chocolate covered crickets. And they're like, well, I got good news, boss. We don't have to fucking call the exterminator for the crickets. Turns out it's free ingredients.
That's so disgusting. There's no way. You wouldn't pay me money to do it. I can't. There's no way.
There's certain things too that, like, I don't know. And this is me just being ignorant about other people's cultures and stuff. But there's some like the stuff that we eat, right? Like we're eating animals and we eat like different kinds of shit, fish and like to me like lobster and snails and stuff. Like people are like, ooh, escargot, it's very nice. But I'm like, that's all North America, well, French cuisine, but at the same time, like it's very adopted here. And the idea is that like that's fine. Like to eat a what do you call it? Oyster. Everyone's like, oh, it's so good.
Oh, no,
and I'm like, oh. It's like someone hawked a fucking ocean loogie in a shell. Now, what's that? $4 to swallow that loogie? Ooh, sign me up for some more. I got a great price on these.
Who came up with saying like this is good to eat? Is what I want to know. Or even octopus.
Who?
Like
octopus?
Yeah, like who eats octopus? Like, and it's weird. I can't. There's no way. There would be no way.
Yeah, no, I don't even like seafood. Like to me, salmon and stuff like that tastes gross.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. I used to like it as a kid. There's a bit of a taste to it. I don't really like sushi. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love sushi.
Yeah.
But I don't get all the crazy stuff. I just get your regular fake sushi, like
like the crab, California rolls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you don't do like the piece of salmon on the little roll of rice?
I can eat raw salmon. I don't like tilapia.
Tilapia?
Fish. Okay. Yeah, I don't like those because they're apparently not good to eat. But
you don't do the eel? You don't do like when they do eel or shark or squid or any of that stuff?
No. Just simple. I keep it very simple. And then goes crazy.
I'll do the California rolls, but you know what the taste that I like the least is the seaweed flavor. The seaweed taste is what grosses me out the most.
Wow.
Yeah, I just don't. It just tastes too fishy and stinky, like that. You know, when you go into like the fish section of like I don't want to say a cheap grocery store, but like, you know, it's just the fish section, and you just get that fish smell. Yeah, it's not like ooh, because all my chef friends keep telling me like fresh fish doesn't stink like that. So I'm like, okay. So it's like, but to me sorry, I'm getting sick thinking of it. Like that fish smell. To me, that's what the seaweed tastes like. It has that same fishy, stinky smell taste. So I'll put like soy and I'll put my wasabi on, and I'm chewing, and I'm like, and then there's the more I get that seaweed fucking flavor. I don't even know why the seaweed's there anymore, to be honest with you. I remember when I was young, a picture of sushi used to have the seaweed on the outside as like a wrap on a burrito. Now it only wraps the inside, and then they got the rice to stick to the outside of it. Well, if you can get the rice to stick to the outside, why don't you just put that shit inside the rice, roll the rice, and get rid of the goddamn seaweed?
Wait, I think you can order it like that as well.
With no seaweed?
Yeah, you can. Well, it depends on like where you go, but I know here where I'm from, they do it without the seaweed and just rice. Or you can. It's like almost.
I'd prefer that big time. Big time.
I can't remember right now. I have the menu somewhere, but I'm not gonna go get it. But
do you do the one with shrimp? Will you do the shrimp?
Yeah.
Okay, shrimp I'll do. I don't mind shrimp. Shrimp is cool, great. But you know those like gross shrimp rings where it's like little shrimp and they're fucking frozen with the gross ass sauce?
Oh,
can't do it.
You
can't do it. Do you like that though? Like the cold?
Oh yeah.
So gross.
I like crab too, snow crab or the king crab.
Yes, crab is good. I mean, expensive. And I like lobster claw. Like the claw meat is good, but the tail meat's too rubbery for me. Like that's the thing with me with seafood. And it's so expensive. Like, so to me, it's like,
ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Instead of giving like the crab and this and that, it's like, yeah, it's not bad. But I'm like, do you know what I would have really enjoyed just as much? A nice big piece of chicken breast cooked with nice sauces and stuff like that. Like, and it's way cheaper than paying for like king crab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like a steak has a different taste and a texture. So I'm like, I'll pay more for a steak, and that's a different taste and texture by a lot. Whereas like I find crab and lobster meat, it's so close to chicken in a lot of ways that I'm like, why am I paying 3 times to kind of have a chicken experience? Give me the goddamn chicken. Give me the goddamn chicken.
Well, if your lobster is tasting rubbery, that's because they cooked it a little too long.
Oh, really? Okay, that's what my other friend said.
If you taste it, it's a bit rubbery or chewy, like rubbery.
Very rubbery, definitely rubbery.
They cooked it too long. That's what happens.
Fucking assholes.
I think it's only 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you cook it more than 15 minutes, then that's what happens. It's same thing with crab too. When you put a little bit of water in the pot, put the crab in there. It doesn't need to be submerged, and then steam it. And even with this much of water, cook it for 15 minutes, and your crab is good. So is your lobster. You cook your own crab and lobster? I haven't tried lobster, but I do want to try it. But I do cook my own crab. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't do that stuff. Expensive. When I'm at Costco and they got the fucking crab on ice and it's these giant fucking legs, I'm gonna come home with these goddamn.
Awesome.
I'm gonna come home with these fucking ocean swords. They look like makeshift Pirates of the Caribbean bad guys with this shit hanging off their shoulders like armor. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring it home. Snap it in 15 pieces so it'll fit in the pot.
Buy the HEB kind. Well, you don't have HEB for where you're from, but HEB would just get the regular.
Like what, about a foot long?
Yeah, that's the leg, and then their body is probably no bigger than that.
The size of a Joe Louis for my listeners. Because to keep in mind, they can't see our visuals. So we have to describe.
Right. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just reminded of that every now and again.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I do it too in video interviews. I'll be talking about something. I'll hold up a book and show something. So yeah, that's why I was reading and describing kind of what it looks like, is because the listeners can't hear what the fish looked like or what regions that they're in or all that stuff. But just to show you. But yeah, that's I find fucking
good to know.
Yeah, seriously.
Sorry.
No worries. A little thing for my listeners. I got my 2 weeks that I'm going to be in Kingston performing at Absolute Comedy. The 2-week Nespresso Roadshow was canceled, so I did find that out this last week. So I'll be just doing comedy stuff while I'm in Kingston. Nothing special. Just apparently that city. They didn't want to ship this stuff to. And speaking of cities and stuff, Ontario went back into a 28-day lockdown. No, they closed gyms, movie theaters, and restaurants. But since Absolute Comedy is licensed as a restaurant, they had to shut down. So basically no indoor big, large gatherings for 28 days. So Absolute Comedy Ottawa and Absolute Comedy Toronto, those are 2 cities that got shut down in Ontario. And then a few of the surrounding boroughs in Toronto are also closed. But Kingston is not. Kingston has not had a bunch of COVID cases, so Kingston's still open, and my ass will still be performing stand-up comedy. As it's, at the moment, things are changing day by day everywhere. But I will still be performing at Absolute Comedy in Kingston. I believe it's the last week of October. I know November 9th is the last day that I'm there, I believe. Oh, I'll do that thing where I look it up. I start talking about something and I didn't write it down, so why don't I just find out exactly when I'm going to be there. I will be there November, starting on the 28th. Yep, I'll be at Absolute Comedy on the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st of October, and then the 4th through the 7th of November. So I'll be headlining the first week and hosting the second week. So there's just a little plug for that. If you guys want to come see a show, put that down. Go to absolutecomedy.ca. You can book your tickets for the Kingston Club those dates. Speaking of tickets, my brother actually also offered me, I was telling you guys that a while back I watched Canada's Drag Race. I won't talk about the show, but it's funny because afterwards, I don't know if it's because I watched it or my phone heard me say it, but they were offering, I guess they did like a Canada's Drag Race drive-in tour in Ontario. So they had all these different places in Ontario that they were going to be coming to do like live drag show at the drive-in. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And then day of, my brother calls me and goes, hey, did you want to go to Canada's Drag Race? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, I got tickets, but the kiddo's sick and me and the wife can't go. So I was like, oh, well, and to be honest with you, it was like last minute. I'm like, yeah, I just, with my wisdom teeth still recovering, I was like, I just don't feel like leaving the house for that long. I want to stay here in case I need a painkiller and just take it easy. But I said, it's so kind of you to offer. I just thought it was funny that like, I literally watched the show just for no reason other than I thought I messed my TV up, burned through the entire season in like a day, and then see the tour ads on my Instagram, and then someone calls and offers me tickets. I'm like, listen, world, stop trying to get me into drag, okay? I got nothing against it.
drag like
RuPaul's Drag Race, yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure you were talking about cards, like drag.
Oh, like no, like a no. Like
I was trying to figure out what.
Yeah, it was like RuPaul's Drag Race. So I watched the entire season of that in a day.
Oh my!
So funny. It was so funny. I told the story in the podcast, but the short version is I was putting in my new fridge under my Nespresso machine, free plug for them. And I had to move my TV out to get in behind where all the plugs and stuff are. It's on the wall on a mount, so it like swivels out, swivels back. But it's so thin because it's an OLED. So when I moved it out, I'm working behind it, and I just reached my hand back behind, and I just slowly, gently pushed it back. But I was pushing on the screen. And I was like, oh shit, the screen's so thin. I'm like, I hope I didn't crack a pixel. I didn't push hard or anything. It wasn't fighting me. But I was just like, but I just never touched the screen. I always touch the sides or the underneath. I have a bracket that has a speaker hanging underneath.
Okay.
So I'll usually just grab the speaker or the bracket because it's attached to the back of the TV and it's just safer to move it. But I wasn't thinking because I was behind it and I just put my hand up and I moved it back over and I was like, oh shit. So at the time I was just like, I turned on Crave TV, which is like a Hulu or whatever it is, Netflix. And I'm just like, I just turn it on. On and just put first thing I could click on because I wanted to put a screen on to see if there was any, pixel damage or anything like that. And the first thing that was on was like Canada's Drag Race. So I put it on and it's doing like these intros, and I guess the screen didn't have a lot of different colors. So I was trying to wait until I could see different stuff. So anyways, I'm letting it play and I'm still plugging in the fridge and I'm taking all this stuff off of it and I'm moving. I had an old fridge in the spot, so I had all this stuff on the floor that was cold. I'm trying to get it into the new fridge. So I just left this on in the background while I was doing that shit. And I'm like, I'm going to look and see if there's any stuff. And within 10, 15 minutes, like the stuff that they were doing was fucking hilarious. And I'm laughing. 25 minutes later, I find myself just standing, staring at the TV. Like I'm not even moving and organizing shit anymore. The stuff's in the fridge, but all like the throwing the box out and the styrofoam. And I'm just standing, I'm just watching this thing. And I had a house party to go to too. So I'm just standing and they're like waiting for me. And I'm just standing here in front of this thing, watching like these competitions and stuff, laughing my ass off. It's all these guys bitching at each other like women. Cause they're all gay, right? So it's just so funny. And I'm like, okay. And then the next episode starts. I'm like, no, I got to turn this shit off. Cause I'll end up just sitting here and watch this. But then the next day I put it on while I was doing other things. And like, that was the show that was on over the course of the day. That was back when that was on. It was so funny. But it was creative too. Cause they're like, they have to make dresses and they have to make outfits and stuff like that. And because they're guys, like it was funny to see because they're guys, they have to like wear like pantyhose or whatever you call it, or Spanx, whatever. But then they like stuff stuff in it to give themselves more curves because they're men. They don't have like hourglass figures, right?
Oh, I see.
So they have to stuff stuff in the pantyhose to like make the legs look big. Wow, and then they put dresses and stuff on top. Yeah. But so it was like, I'm big on anything creative. Like I'll watch a show about woodworking and then I'll watch a show about restoring old like appliances. Oh, we're going to refinish the, American Restoration. I'll watch them refinish an old Coke fridge. Like, but anything that's like creative and building and like, you know what I mean? Anything where you're creating anything, I'm fascinated. I'm in. Oh, we're going to make weird cakes. I don't give a fuck. Like it's creative. You know what I mean? So that's what got me was that it was like, this like, holy fuck, how do they...
Guys.
But yeah, but it was like, but it was fascinating because it wasn't just like, we're just going to make a dress. They would like give them garbage. Like they had separate teams. Like one of them was they had separate teams and they gave them like one, like it was a recycling challenge. So one team got all metal, one team got all plastic, one team got all paper.
Oh, wow.
And they had to make outfits out of all of that stuff. So one team had all metal and it was like old like Brillo pads and slinkies and chain link fence crap, whatever. And they had to like make dresses out of that shit.
That's crazy.
And then the other ones were like paper. Oh no, I hadn't either. If you were like, you want to like my gay friend, Kyle, I say he's gay only. I guess I don't really need to, but he was super into it, and he was super into the RuPaul Drag Race. So he was always like telling me, "Oh my god, it's so funny. He loves the show and this and that." It was, he's like, "You got to watch it. It's great." And I was just like, "It's just not my thing." Like, no judgment. It's just not my thing. Watched it, and I was like, "Yeah, it was great." I
call him and let him know.
Oh, I did right away. I told him I did. I was like, yeah, I watched
happy?
RuPaul's Drag Race, and he's like, girl, it's so good. like okay. But that's Yeah, it was fun. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. So anyways, like I said, like I just thought it was funny. And then all of a sudden my phone, I'm getting all these ads for the drag race on tour. It's like the cast from the show basically on tour. And I was like, oh, that's good for them. Yeah. And then my brother calls, you want tickets? I'm like, listen, universe. All right. I watched the show. Stop trying to be like, you want to get wicked into drag shows, Josh? No. Don't care. Don't care. Fun show. Fuck off.
Oh, gosh.
Watch the Food Network for a week. And you want to take a cooking class? Kinda, but no. So, yeah, it was funny. So I got my wisdom teeth checkup done. Yeah, they just went and checked. They took out a little bit of said everything was healing good. They took out, I guess, some of the stitches that were sort of just kind of like they were catching. But I don't think I felt anything from any of the stitches since it's been over, at this particular moment, it's been over 2 weeks. So yeah, that was fine. I remember but the holes were still there in the back. So it was like kind of cloddy and stuff like that. Like I was still worried about messing something up. It's hard to get at. It's still, my gums around the area still kind of hurt on the bottom.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it feels almost like, I'm like, do I have like something like gingivitis or something? Cause like right along the back of the other teeth, they feel almost like numb. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like pain, but it's like, yeah, it's there, but I feel the pain. So that's a good thing. But I'm trying to think if I can rinse with Paradex. I want to rinse with Paradex. And, is that bad?
I don't know.
It's usually one that they give you for your gums if they're like inflamed or something. It's like a mouthwash or whatever.
Oh yeah. No, that shouldn't be bad at all. That actually helps. That's good.
It's one of those ones where you like rinse with it and then you can't spit for like 20 minutes, or sorry, you gargle with it and then you can't rinse your mouth for like 20 minutes. It's like you got to like leave it there, but it has a horrid fucking taste. I have a bottle of it from like 10 years ago. I'm sure it's not expired. But yeah, I did that. And then the funny thing was like I bought, again, because I was super hungry, I bought a Wonder Bar. You guys have Wonder Bar in the States, yeah? Oh, it's Cadbury, so I don't think you do.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's so funny. Like I wrote down the 24-hour Wonder Bar because I remember like wanting to eat it. It's got like kind of like, it's like chocolate and peanut butter, peanut buttery. It's like, imagine a Butterfinger, only instead of it biting and breaking and crunching, imagine if like all that stuff on the inside was softer and stayed together. Like it was almost like it had caramel. There's no caramel there. It's just sort of like a soft peanut butter. So when you chew in it, it's just chewier. It doesn't just break apart like a Butterfinger, but it's like peanut buttery. Anyways, I remember I'm like, oh, I think I can have some of this. I'll just suck on it. Like I bought these Halloween candies and I noticed right over the course of my healing that I'd be like, oh, these little ones I can try. And I'd bite it like 8 or 9 times before I finished these little Halloween size ones, to just bite and slowly suck on it a little bit and try to have it break down because I didn't want it getting in any of my holes or anything like that. And you really learn the texture of these chocolate bars when you're doing little mouse bites on them and just like kind of sucking on them. I'm like noticing, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize there was so many like little pieces of peanut in a crispy crunch, or, you know what I mean? I thought it was just like, you just chew it and it's like kind of like toffee and whatever. And you don't give a shit what goes where, and rinse your mouth. And I'm sitting there, I'm sucking on this Wonder Bar, a little bite. And I bought the full size. I'm like, I think I can work down a Wonder Bar. They're soft. I'm chewing it. I'm like, oh my God, there's little teeny pieces of peanut all through, like tiny, like ground up peanut all through this thing. I'm like super slow. I'm like, I took one bite and then I'm like, no, there's too many holes, too many little bits of peanuts and they're gonna be everywhere. No, put it down. Next morning. Yeah. Next morning I have a bite, a little bit, fuck this. Like it literally took me over a day to eat this candy bar that normally I'd be like 4 bites, swallow it like a fucking animal. Yeah. Done. See you on the other side there. But no, this one probably featured itself in like 2 to 3 different poops. Like guaranteed it was a recurring character in several poops, this candy. Instead of one candy bar and it's in one poop, it was like, that's how long it took me to eat it. 2 or 3 different poops, like sequels. Oh, it came back again for the sequel. Good for them. But sorry. I did, I'm going to cross that off. Nobody cares about that. Back to Nespresso Roadshow. Don't care about that. The boys too. Angie's Bob. I'm just reading all the different things we got here. So, I actually had a chance to chat with my friend Rebecca, who is my buddy Chris's wife. It was just cool. Just a little check-in. I just wanted to show a little shout out to them. Chris and Rebecca are listeners of the podcast. So I had a really nice chat. I got to just catch up with her. I haven't chatted with them really since I think I saw them very briefly when quarantine was first letting out here. But they're friends of mine that I would go over, once a month and have a games night with them or whatever. So I haven't had a chance to hang out with them in a long time. They're being very safe. They got kids, and she was telling me all about like kind of what the schools are doing with like their little kids and stuff like that. And man, it's so many rules everywhere for all this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It
but it was nice to catch up with him. With her. She's not trans. She was a her. And I was thinking of Chris. What else? So, Angie, we played a new game over the course of this podcast. Now, this one's being recorded after the date. So for us, it seems like it's more than a week we've played, but that Minecraft Dungeons game. We bought a game called Minecraft Dungeons. And for anybody, well, just put it this way. It's a dungeon crawler. So you're going through, you're killing, monsters and stuff and picking up, equipment and things like that. And the cool thing about this game is if any gamer would be familiar with Diablo, either on PC or console. And it's basically like feature for feature the same as Diablo. So it's if you have kids and you're kind of like, hey, Diablo's got too much stuff going on, but it's a real cool dungeon crawler. So the vast majority of our group sort of got involved with it and playing it. And we've had different nights we're playing with each other. So it was a fun game. I would say that we all got pretty into it heavy. As a matter of fact, now this would be something I would put on next week's podcast, but right before this podcast, Angie just platinumed the game as well. So she got her last trophy. Yay. Yeah. So that was fun. Yeah. So we've completed that game. Another one, we're out here doing big things, guys, finishing video games. You know what I mean? People are out there working on vaccinations and solar energy, but we're like, you know what? I can shoot down a bunch of cubes, get a trophy.
I can blow that creeper up right there.
Yeah, exactly. So we've been playing that. That's been fun. And then, of course, as a result of playing that game and it reminding me of Diablo, I went out and I bought Diablo Iii. Great game. I think Angie's got it. Chance has got it. Chad's got it. Water's got it. A bunch of other people from our group. Red's got it. I got the chance to, I'll talk about all that shit on the next episode because a lot of that happened in that episode's time frame. But it's cool. The gang has now moved on to that one. And that one's one that's going to have a lot more length to it. We'll be able to play that one for a little longer. So in next week's episode, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that just because we've got a lot of stuff on our list here. We got a lot to talk about here, Angie. We're at the 40-minute mark already, and we got a lot to talk about still, Joe, kid. I'll get my story stuff out of the way so you and I can dive into the fun shit. I did 2 Thanksgiving dinners because that's what I was telling you guys. I remember you were telling me something about how like you had to get some food ready or something, and I was like, oh, for Thanksgiving? And you were like, like, what? And I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, it's Canadian Thanksgiving. It's American Thanksgiving later. And so, yeah, it just happened to work out that way. But it's like, yeah, this weekend's, Thanksgiving and happy Thanksgiving, onesies. I'm sorry. Happy belated Thanksgiving to you. I hope you guys had a great time with your families, friends. I hope you were safe with quarantine procedures and everything like that. Since then I've heard a lot of people, telling me kind of what they were doing for Thanksgiving, and a lot of people had scaled down versions. I did on the Sunday night. I did Thanksgiving with my mom and one of her friends, Manny. We had a really nice dinner. We did like a nice pot roast and scallop potatoes and stuff. It was just a nice little low profile, 3 of us having dinner together. It was great. On the Monday, I went to my brother's house. Him and his lovely wife hosted Thanksgiving. We had a meal with them, and it was just my mom, my brother, his wife, and my nephew. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever said my nephew, but I have a nephew. I guess I'm Uncle Josh, and he was a funny little guy. He's a lot more remote now. He was playing stuff when we were sitting at the table. He would reach and try to grab things off the table, and if he grabbed one, if he grabbed something on the table and he pulled it up, he'd have this big smile on his face because he's like, I'm getting away with something. So he just did. He just big smile. I got it. I think he's like he's like 1 or something like that, or a little over 1. So I think it's his first birthday coming up this next weekend, actually.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, because my brother sent me a text message saying, hey, we're doing something for his birthday. I was like, oh, cool. So I think it's his first birthday. Fuck.
Aww.
For some reason that doesn't seem long enough, oddly. Like time does fly with kiddos, but anyways, he's a little cutie. He's a little cutie. So that was cool. We got to hang out with him and see their new place. They just bought a house, so I got to see their new house for the first time. It was cool. Had a nice little Thanksgiving weekend. Almost made it through the entire visit without getting into a fight with my brother. Right as we're leaving and standing in the front hallway there, that's when we got into it. So that's pretty close. It's a new personal best for us. So normally it's like, while everyone's sitting at the table with their head in their hands, like, when are Josh and Aaron going to stop fucking arguing? So yeah, no, we did good. We did good. Anything else here I can bang out real quick? Okay. Well, why don't we talk about, I'm going to talk, Angie, about some of the movies that I watched. I got a couple new ones, nothing special. Did you watch Hubie Halloween? Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that. Okay,
it's the new Adam Sandler movie on Netflix where it's like a Halloween movie or whatever. Okay. It's right down the middle. It's not great, not bad.
Hubie with the H?
Hubie, H-U-B. It's like Herbert, I guess, or something, or Hubie. I don't know. H-U-B-I-E Halloween. Hubie Halloween is what it's called. But if you type in Adam Sandler, it'll probably be the first thing that comes up on Netflix. But it's enjoyable. It's nothing special. It's like one of those. It's like a lot of Adam Sandler movies now, where you might get a laugh like once every 20 or 30 minutes, and then there's a lot of scenes that like you could tell they were trying to be funny, and it so wasn't. Okay. So it's kind of like, no, okay. But it was entertaining. I was fine with it, and there was a couple cute little moments in it. So yeah, Hubie Halloween. If you're an Adam Sandler fan or you like Halloween movies, that's both of them. It reminded me a little bit, and I don't remember if you saw this, because you and I have been talking about a lot of movies lately that were like from when we were kids, with a lot of like puppets and animatronics. And you know what was a movie that scared me as a kid, even though it was supposed to be a comedy, was Ernest Scared Stupid. Do you remember that movie?
I love that one.
Yeah.
I loved all of his movies.
Yeah.
Ernest Scared. Oh.
Yeah. Ernest Goes to Jail. Ernest Goes to Camp. But Ernest Scared Stupid scared Trantor, the fucking troll in that. Yes. Yea, I call thee forth, Trantor.
Terrifying as a young.
Yeah. Well, and then he turned the kids into like wooden fucking statues and shit like that. Like when the girl was in the bed and she'd look in her bed, nothing, and then she rolls back into bed and he's right there in bed with her. Oh, horrifying.
That's why I don't hang my hand off the edge of the bed or my foot. Like it's gonna get you.
But Hubie Halloween, for some reason made me feel a little bit of that Ernest Scared Stupid vibe. Although saying that will disappoint you if you go in expecting that.
Okay.
Because it really isn't. It's just for some reason, I haven't thought of Ernest Scared Stupid in years. And then when I saw Hubie Halloween, there's no trolls or anything in it. It's just, it kind of had that like, cause I haven't watched Ernest Scared Stupid in a long time. So I don't know if it holds up. In terms of like, I don't know if the funny is still funny. I don't know if like, you know what I mean? So to me, I was like, but Ernest Scared Stupid was like that vibe where like it could have a scary scene. And then the next scene was like so over the top stupid that like, you're like, you know what I mean? Like, so but I don't know that for some reason, Hubie Halloween made me think of Ernest Scared Stupid for the first time in years.
Wow.
So yeah, but just for what it's worth, if you go in like Ernest Scared Stupid, I feel like was still a good movie. So if you go into Hubie Halloween expecting that, you won't. You'll be disappointed. But I personally, I kind of want to watch Ernest Scared Stupid again. That's the one I want to see.
Oh my gosh! Now that you brought it up, of course, especially it's Halloween. You know, like it's Halloween month, and that would be interesting to watch again.
Did you watch, this was on Netflix, it came out a few years ago. Did you watch the movie called The Babysitter?
The Babysitter? No. Yeah. I saw it there, but no, I didn't get to see it.
It had, I don't remember her name. She's a blonde weaving or something, Amara Weaving or something like that. She was in that movie Ready or Not, the hide and seek movie. She was in that. She was in something else recently. She was in The Babysitter. I'm going to have to, or Samara Weaving. I'm going to have to pull it up. Give me one quick second here. Just so people know what I'm talking about again, and just for added content. I'm always talking about shit and never ready to present what it is I'm talking about. That's the charm. Bella Thorne is in it for sure. And then what is it? Is it Samara Weaving?
Yeah, Samara Weaving.
Yeah, The Babysitter. So Samara Weaving, and then I'm going to click on her. She was in Ready or Not, which I watched that on the plane to Scotland. She's in 3 Billboards, but I haven't seen that. She's also in Bill and Ted's Face the Music, which is new, and I have not watched that yet. Yeah, Ready or Not, The Babysitter. She did a little cameo, a very small cameo in Ash versus the Evil Dead, the series that was on there. So I saw her in that, but she's an Australian actress. Yeah, and she was on that Home and Away show, which like every Australian actor is on. But she's starting to get more and more stuff. And here she looks like she's in something with Harry Potter there, whatever the fuck his name is, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Guns.
So she's in that. Bella Thorne is in that. That Robbie Arnell guy, I don't know, he usually just plays a jock or something. But he's in the baby, whatever you call it, the Babysitter. What else is he in? I know I've seen him in something else. He was in the it's got to be the new X-Files, because there's no way he's too young.
Harry Potter guy?
Yeah. No, that's Daniel Radcliffe. Oh. The guy who plays the jock in The Babysitter, he's in like it's showing him as in like a series of unfortunate events, the new one. The Flash he's in. So a bunch of stuff. And then there's the black dude who's been in a bunch of stuff. Yeah, the black dude, Josh. Well, his name is it Andrew Batchelor? Yeah, he was in When We First Met and I've seen him in a bunch of funny movies with what's his fucking face? Oh, Josh. It's right here. He's right here. Adam Devine. And he does comedy and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, he's been in a bunch of Adam Devine movies and stuff like that, you know. But anyways, the idea is that you're going to see a lot of recognizable young people. The Babysitter's this it's like a campy sort of horror movie. It's not scary at all. But it's like this kid is getting babysat, and then the straight up teen like caricatures, you know, the high school caricatures of like the jock, the funny, like the funny cool black guy, the cheerleader, the babysitter, like all of these people, and then they're trying to kill this kid that they're babysitting. Well, and then I just recently saw that they had the sequel. I thought it was actually the original when I saw it, because it said The Babysitter Killer Queen, and I was like, oh, nope, they've already made a sequel to it. That one came out, I think, in like 2018, and they've already got one called The Babysitter Killer Queen. I watched it. Stupid.
Really?
The first one was entertaining. Like, it's not winning any awards or anything like that. It's not one people are going to talk about years later, but it did well enough that I guess Netflix decided, like sequel, bring them back. Like all of the people, you'll find out very well, you know, early, end up getting killed in the first one. So well, theoretically, not everyone, but a lot of these caricatures die in the first one. And then the second one's like, oh yeah, we made a pact with the devil and we're all back, you know, and we're going to try to get you again. Like same actors, everything. You're like, oh, okay. Wow. That's kind of a cop out. But yeah, I watched it. It was goofy. It wasn't really, it wasn't funny and charming like the first one. The first one was kind of like a funny horror, not anywhere even the same ballpark, but kind of in the same vein as Cabin in the Woods, where it was like it was like scary some moments, and then other moments like the fucking jokes were so funny and hilarious and stuff like that. But that's because of Joss Whedon, who did that. Don't know if you ever watched but Joss Whedon is the guy who did the Buffy the Vampire series. Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. So he was he was like the one responsible for that. He also, believe it or not, wrote and directed the Avengers movie. So wow. So in terms of big enough budget, like you don't get to direct the Avengers if you're not big deal. So Joss Whedon wrote and directed Cabin in the Woods.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so the first Babysitter movie was kind of in that vein where it's kind of like funny 1 minute and then like, oh my God, they're trying to kill me the next kind of thing. But not quite as good. Anyways, first Babysitter, entertaining, give it a watch. Second one, pass is all I'm saying. That's a very long way for me to get to that. And the other movie, the last movie on that I have written down that I wrote while still recovering was I put on the new Grudge movie, the one with John Cho.
Oh, no, I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, you saw the originals. The new Grudge came out last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So John Cho, that dude I know. He's, plays Sulu in the new Star Trek movies. He's Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. John Cho. So he was in this one. This one was like weird. Instead of the original one where, that's the one.
That's the one?
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
okay.
but it wasn't scary. It like it looked like it was trying too hard. It was trying to tell too many different stories. Because instead of it being like, hey, something bad happened to a family, and then someone comes and takes over the house, and then like her and like maybe the inspector was trying to help her. Like now it's like there's this inspector couple, there's this other couple, like, and everyone's just getting killed in it. So it's like there's no like, why are you telling me about this couple? Like, why are you letting me learn about them to just have them die in 2 seconds? So it wasn't good. It was really not good. I don't know what its Rotten Tomato score is, but I'm sure whatever it is, it's probably not low enough.
It says here 20%.
Yeah, deservedly so.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And then I watched a series on Amazon Prime called The Boys. It was the second season of The Boys. I recommended it to my dad. He checked it out and then called me like the next day. I hadn't even started the second season yet, but he calls me. He's like, yeah, I'm like 5 episodes into the second season. I'm like, holy shit, you went through it quick. And he's like, yeah, no, it's good. It's a really cool show. It's the premise of the show is that like superheroes are real. So they exist. Okay. The only thing is that they work for a corporation. And so that corporation decides what they do and what they don't do. And the superheroes themselves are kind of fuckers. Like they're some of them are evil. Some of them are like sex criminals. Some of them are just like assholes, but but it's all, they just talk about how like, oh, you're trending on this and oh, like your approval rating is this and that. And it's kind of like, so they go in to do these press conferences where you can see that they're really putting on a face for the public where they look like they've got like this Captain America type guy. They've got like this Wonder Woman type girl, the Flash type guy. So it's like different things. But they're like, hey, we've got this, we've got that. And then the show is called The Boys. And what The Boys are is like this group of people who know the superheroes are fuckers and are trying to take them down. Wow. So it's interesting. It's not as much about superheroes as it is just kind of a fascinating story of like, how corporations spin things and how as much as you think what you see is like, oh, look how good they are and everything like that. It's like, no, they're really fuckers and this and that. And like they got like what's called the 7, which is like their version of the Avengers. It's like 7 superheroes or whatever. Okay. And people get like kicked out of the 7. They're like, yeah, right now you're not very popular, so we need to like move you out, and we'll have you back as soon as all this like blows over. But for now, people, we need people to have faith in the 7, and your image is like it's like they're all influencers, you know what I mean? And it's like what people want to see and what people don't want to see and all that stuff. It's a really entertaining show. If you have Amazon Prime, check out The Boys. Yeah, I do. Okay. Check out The Boys, Angie. I doubt you'll be disappointed with it. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Okay. It's a fun show. Like you're realistically like within 5 minutes of the show, you're already like, what the fuck? Okay. Like, yeah. So yeah, Boys season 2 is out. It's interesting. It's just more of the same. If you like the first season, you like season 2. If you didn't, you won't like season 2. I finished a game. I talked about this on the previous episode, the game Erica. I am barely going to talk about this, but that game took me 6 fucking playthroughs. I think you and Chance were on the party with me when I thought I was finishing my last playthrough, and then I got like this screen that was like, okay, now do everything again all the way up to this point, and then hit play to continue. I was like, what? And then I had to do it another time after that. I was like, this story is so fucking bad. It's so bad. It's so stupid. The actress in it, so hot. What was her name? It wasn't Erica. It was something Earl. Holly Earl. She was in, I don't know this, but I know from her IMDb page, she was in Doctor Who. So gorgeous. These big doe eyes. I gotta send it to you, Angie. You can take a look at her. Or you can just Google Holly Earl, Holly. If you're already on IMDb, you can find her there too. But yeah, Holly Earl, Earl. Her picture on IMDb. Oh, Jesus. These big eyes on her. Did you see it?
Yeah. Is she like, what, 15?
No.
Oh.
If she is, that's hot.
No, she's 28.
That's what I like. I like my 28-year-olds to look 15. No, I'm kidding.
She looks really young, but she's very pretty. Yeah,
and her eyes are big. She's got these big eyes.
She has very big eyes. Yeah.
So, and then everything you see her on IMDb, she's either playing some like British handmaid or like she's very, I don't know. Anyways, so watching her over and over was fine. I guess she's in the show. What show is this? Humans. She's in the show Humans. I don't know anything about that show. But Doctor Who, Humans, Skins, those are some relatively... Oh, yeah, I don't know what the hell show this is. Beowulf. But this picture's doing it for me. Come on. It's too bright. It's too dark. Come on. God damn it.
Oh, right there. Oh, there it is.
Yep. And you guys are just waiting while I try to... Camera, you were pissing me off.
It's all right. I can go here. There it is. There it is.
We were so
she's
close.
she looks real pretty there.
Yeah. Well, she's just dressed like fucking a Viking.
You know what? What I think is very striking about her and what is that she's very natural.
Yes.
So she doesn't have all this thick layer of makeup. You know what I mean? Like her fake eyelashes and like overdone lips and stuff like that. Like she has a very, very natural look to her.
And you know what also, this is just me being a dirty male, is that she's got a very small frame.
Okay.
She's got a very small frame, but she's very well endowed for that small frame. So when you see a tiny girl who's got kind of nice booblies, what do you call them? Booblies in the UK there? I'm trying to find, she's very attractive. She's very attractive. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too. I guess we're both on Google Image, but yeah, she's well endowed for her size there.
28. She looks like she's 15.
I know, and she's fucking.
That's awesome.
Like, and she's just wholesome looking. Like you said, I don't like makeup on women. I like women when they look natural. Like look at that. That's fucking gorgeous. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, you see, look, it's just very thin makeup. Like whatever powder she has is very thin. A light color of lipstick that looks more nude, and then she hardly has any eyeshadow. Very little mascara. So she just naturally is very pretty. Yep.
I'm literally, onesies. I am posting this on the One Man Podcast Instagram as we speak.
There you go. That way they can see.
Yeah. I'm going to put this here. You guys can see. I don't want to use like the filters or anything like that. Just want you to see what she looks like there. Oh, there we go. That one works. Yeah, there you go. And then, developed a crush on does Holly Earl. Oh, there she is. I guess I follow her. Stalker. Developed a crush on Holly Earl. And that'll do. There you go. Share.
Josh, the comedian, the one podcast, man.
There you go. Now it's there. I would have typed more, but you guys would just be listening to me type. So there we go. I'll just have that there. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. Now you guys can see the girl we're talking about. You can look up your own picture of it, but she's beautiful. Game fucking sucked. But at least... But all it did was make me, and she didn't play a 15-year-old in the game for the record. In fact, it's funny because she looks so young. There's one of the playthroughs, like one of the story paths that you can follow where she kisses the inspector who's like taking care of her, and he looks like he's in his 20s. But she doesn't. She does look like that very young age. So it's almost like they never say her age. Okay. So like, it's like she has her own apartment, but you're like, is she like fucking 17 living on her own? Like, how old is this girl? And then when she moves into like, everyone's like treating her, they're like, the storyline is very safe to assume that maybe she's just a young girl too. Like, and she could be late teens or whatever. So then when she like kisses this inspector, I guess everyone's supposed to be like, oh, I was wondering. There's no sexual tension between them at all during the game. So when she just like leans forward and kisses him, it's out of place. And you're like, and he's like, no, no, it's not right. Cause she's worried and she's having these like, she thinks she's going crazy or whatever because of all the events that are happening around her or whatever. And he's like, it's okay. I'll make sure you stay safe. And then she like leans in and like kisses and they kiss for a couple seconds. Like, oh, sorry. It's not right. It's not right. I'm not, blah, blah. But I'm like, why? Cause she's 12. Like, you know what I mean?
She does look it though. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's a good thing.
So the only good thing that came of that is I have yet another celebrity who I want to find naked pictures of. Oh, you animal, Josh. But yeah, so all right, what else we got? I read to you. I used to have a sponsor on the podcast called Uncle John's Bathroom Raiders from Portable Press, and I have not had them in a while. But I was talking to you. I can't remember what I was talking to you about. But the subject of bathroom readers came up and you're like, what's that? And so I was like, okay, well, I'll read to you from one. And you had your first taste of like what Uncle John's bathroom readers. In fact, Angie, I don't know if you can see from this angle here, but in the back, right next to my earphones, there's like a brown shelf right up by the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
That whole shelf is filled with bathroom readers.
Oh my gosh, Josh.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
I bought a bunch of them. They have like, that's what I'm saying. There's a ton, and we read like this much, like nothing
Yeah.
of one of them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we read all these different articles. We were reading stuff about a Boeing bird or something like that like builds nests and then collects colorful things to attract a
Beautiful
mate.
bird.
Yeah, such a
Beautiful
beautiful bird and such a beautiful little task it does to attract ladies. Which just goes to show it's not just human males. All bitches make us bust our ass to get a little piece of pussy. So unfair. I didn't see those birds baking cakes in the middle of those nests going like, honey, welcome home after a hard day of plastic. It's funny too, because they say that like they will gather foliage that looks pretty, but a lot of the pictures, it's like, you want to know what human beings' impact on the world is like these birds don't know any better, but they're picking up like quite literally like blue bottle caps and blue straws and blue paper clips. Like these birds are like finding all these bright colors. They find garbage basically and spread it all around their nest area. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful,
it's pretty, though.
Yeah, it is pretty, but it makes you go like, oh, it's a shame that there's so much garbage readily available for these birds. But you got to think like someone's not throwing out a bunch of like, these are bottle caps. The bird is not twisting. Yeah. The bird's not twisting the caps off the bottle that's been thrown away. It's like they have found enough people who've just thrown their caps on the ground, and of the same color and enough like straws. These are like royal blue straws, which you don't see a lot of. It's usually like black or white straws.
Yeah.
So you think of like how many people find these rare colored straws and then quite literally litter them, throw them on the ground, that these birds are able to find them. And anyways, you can check the birds. That was one article we read. We read a bunch of different things like lawsuits that were filed, funny signs, the inspiration for songs and stuff like that. And, these different heists that didn't work. But it was cool because I haven't read one of the bathroom readers in a long time, and it was nice to kind of go through it. And then for Angie, for you, it was your first chance to sort of hear like, oh, there's these books with just random 2-3 page facts and shit in them. Mm-hmm. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was interesting. And then we went to that spooky books and stuff, and that's when we were like, oh, we need to stop them.
Yeah, we can stop this. This is scary. So I got 2 more things to talk about, Angie. I'll let you pick which one goes next. We're going to talk about the box they sent you and kind of what your thoughts on some of the stuff. Okay. Also, we're going to talk about Chad and somebody who a little suggestion that we had for him. We have a buddy, a mutual friend. I mean, we may as well get into that, and then I'll just save it. I'll just save it with the box thing because we know that'll be positive instead of just this awkward fucking trail out. We got a buddy who. It's hard to say. His friend, he's 18, legal age. Oh. Legal age. Very, very cool. Very legal age, 18. And he's got a friend who he stays with. And that friend's mother, I don't want to say this disrespectfully, but apparently myself and a lot of other people, our instinct is that this woman, I apologize, is interested in a little piece of this teenage pinus. You know what I mean? And our friend is avidly denounces it like, no, it's not. No. But he's like, but he openly admits that like everyone's saying that she's interested in him. And apparently she's made like little comments, nothing like straight up sexual, but suggestive comments. And I was like, dude, you're a virgin. If you could lose your virginity by banging your best friend's mom, full marks on that, 10 out of 10. That's a great story. And that's something that you can hold over your friend for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like he can never win a roast battle between the two of you ever again, because you could just be like, yeah, man, you're right. Hey, listen, do you want to smell my dick? Oh my God. I mean, technically, buddy, we've both been in there, right? Oh my God. Wow. But I don't know what's going on with the One Man Podcast, but I'm starting to have this. Like last week, we talked about what would my price be for fucking my own mother.
Oh my God.
Everyone's gonna think Josh is a big advocate of people's mothers getting fucked. It just yeah. But in all fairness, we did have that conversation prior to this one. Which is maybe why I thought of the whole like, oh, I wonder, because I think like I don't know if I really explained it well enough. We were in the middle of four people, and we were all sort of chatting, so it kind of got off the rails a little bit. But in all fairness, I always make fun of people who are like, no, I'd never suck a cock. I'm like, come on, it's money, you get over it. But I think that like I was trying to be like, okay, well, I'm sure I would have something that I'd really struggle with, and that was the thing that came to mind. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, okay. I was okay with that. So I'm like, all right. But it wasn't that I'm just like, hey, welcome to October. Everyone knows it's International Motherfucking Month. And, bang your favorite lady. Come on. Your mother's a queen. Treat her like one.
Goodness.
My goodness. But yeah, so this friend of ours, I was like, and Angie, you said too, right? Like if this older woman wants to like, that's a feather in your cap. Not that it's your friend's mom, but just she's the thing is we've seen pictures of her because Facebook for some reason is like, you might want to be friends with this person. I'm like, is that her? Like that just was like, not bad. Not great. Not great. I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, she's no fucking, I was going to say Heather Locklear. How dated a reference is that? Right? Heather Locklear, the other one. Who? Is that old woman in movies now? Yeah, probably. She doesn't even get to do movies anymore. She's done. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Elle Macpherson or Cindy Crawford. Everyone, who is he talking about? All the old guys are like, I vaguely remember that name. But yeah, she's decent enough looking. I was like, listen, dude, if she wants it, get it. I think that's a great way to lose. I think that's a great story to lose your virginity. How'd you lose?
That is a great story.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
The rest of your life, like, how did you lose your virginity? Well, I was living with my best friend.
That's how it all started, first of all. I don't know if you told him that.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I remember he was helping them out with some stuff. And then all of a sudden, he was telling me that she's like this, and she's like, oh, I think of you as my, and other people were making little comments, and I was like, who is this person? But he just recently turned 18, and now he's living with them. I wonder if she was the one who's like, why don't you come live with me? I just want you to know that I when I sleep, I leave the door unlocked. If you ever need me for any reason, my door is always open, as are my legs.
Oh my gosh.
And he's just like, I was telling him like he should bring it up and just be like, listen, I mean, I feel so weird telling you this, but like I've known you for so long. I feel like I can trust you. There's something about you. I feel like I just wish you would join me in the shower. I just want the two of us with the water running down our bodies. As the water pours over my biceps, I'd like to hold you in my strong arms. I know you've been single for a long time. Now, I also this woman is single. She's not like married and this kid's trying to slide in while the husband's at work. This is a single woman who's probably been a little while. Now there's this young, blonde, virile man in her house. That's not, her son is too, but.
He's 18, but has a body of a 20-year-old.
There you go.
Not trying to sound perverted either, but I'm just.
No, he's in shape. It's fair to say that he's in shape. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to, help you with your viewers.
Yeah, he's a good-looking cat. He's a good-looking cat for an 18-year-old. Yeah. Dumb as nails. No, I'm joking. Because I know he listens. I'm fucking with him. But no, he's a good-looking cat, and this woman is like we're talking like fresh caught. Do you know what I mean? He is newly 18. It does not become any fresher, any legal. This is like the beer in the brewery poured. You're buying it from, like, you're getting it fresh. Like and he's untainted. He's a virgin still. So she's getting fresh, legal, untainted dick. And, if she wants it, I truthfully, I'm like rooting for him. You know what I mean? Like I want to buy front row tickets to this if it happens.
It's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Since he's been 18.
Yeah. That's hot.
So yeah, he's just, oh man, I really hope.
Dude, if I ever had a daughter one day and one of her friends, but see, here's the thing that I find this a little unfair about society. But if my daughter had a friend who was, she just turned 18 and was like, hey, you're always so nice and this and that, like American Beauty style shit. Now I think she was underage in that movie, or he was waiting till her birthday or something like that. But
no.
I know he wanted to get in shape. She was like, your dad's hot. If he was in shape, I'd totally fuck him. And then
there you go.
And then he like gets himself in shape. Yeah. But all I know is that if like some 18-year-old chick was like, hey, and then I did it, everyone would look at me like I was a piece of garbage. But a woman gets herself a fresh piece of cock, and then it's like, good for you, she's empowered. I mean, I think it is empowered. I just think if it's legal, it's legal.
It's legal. Of course, he's 18. He's a man. He's not a kid.
No, he's far from a man.
He's becoming a man.
Yeah.
Let's just give him that.
He's definitely making his own yogurt at this point.
Oh my God. But if he goes through with this, I would for sure definitely straight down to say he's a man. I mean,
it's got to happen. I'm invested in this. I feel like he should start a GoFundMe for this to happen. And I'm like, where do I send the money? What do you need? We'll buy you the dinner. You take her out to dinner. Treat her like a lady. I'm not telling her to disrespect or anything like that.
Oh, no. Yeah,
I don't care.
No,
as long as the P ends up in the V by the end of the night, I am very, very happy for him. I will throw him a parade in his local town. Do you know what I mean? I think that's...
Oh, my God. Poor Chad, buddy.
Poor. Are you kidding me? I would have killed to have lost my virginity to like a friend's hot mom. I had so many friends with hot moms in high school. I never had them being like, do you want to come live with me and get up in my guts? That would have freaked me out, actually.
You turned 18, didn't you?
Yeah. When's your birthday? Do you want to have a sleepover that night with my son or me? Why don't we celebrate? You guys can have a sleepover. And if you get scared, my door is always open. Just wanted to just remind you one more time. My door is always open. I don't wear panties. That's just so that you're not scared, right? Just so you don't feel like, I'll make sure I cover up because I don't wear panties. If you see them hanging on the doorknob, just move them to the side. Move them to the side. Goodness. Oh my God. Great. Now I have a boner. No, I'm kidding. I promise next week we'll have no motherfucking involved in it. It's not his mother. It's not his mom.
No, it's not his mom. It's his friend's mom.
Yeah.
And all funs and games. I hope he does. I hope it happens.
Yeah, I do too.
I do. I really hope it happens.
Guys, onesies. This is one I write in. Contact at onemanpodcast.com. Yeah. Please tell me your thoughts.
We need to know.
We gotta know. To bang or not to bang.
Yes.
Right? That would be fun. I think that's a good one.
Definitely.
Anybody listening? All right. Police, if you're hearing this, what are your guys? I don't know. I don't know if there's the podcast police, the internet police. Anyone who hears, I don't give a fuck. Contact at onemanpodcast.com. Everything's legal. Everything's above board. He even makes it sound like he's not interested in it. But then, every now and again he'll mention like, well, if he's like, I'm not going to try, but if she tries, I'm like, yeah, buddy. But you can't she's not going to go 100%. She's going to keep doing what ladies do, which is to drop little hints and little passive things that there's always an exit strategy from. If you're like, wait, what did you say? She's like, oh, I'm just playing. I'm just joking with you. You kids and so there's always going to be an exit strategy for her. So you're going to have to, you're going to have to be ET and you're going to have to fucking pick up the Reese's Pieces and you're going to have to walk in and then she'll slam the door behind you and she's like, welcome to my den. And you're like, just try and wear a condom. All right. Wear a condom. You don't need to be your best friend's father-in-law as well or whatever. You don't need to get her pregnant and be like, your brother is also my son. But it was weird. Hey, you fucking asshole. Hey, call me dad. Call me dad. Wear a condom. Try not to bust within 20, 30 seconds because you got to live there. And if you do a good job, oh, buddy. Guess who's getting cookies baked for him all the time?
He should let her know.
He should let her know what? That he's going to come?
No, that he's a virgin.
Oh.
He should let her know because then she's a woman.
Oh my God. Angie, what if, okay, now we're talking strategy.
Oh, no.
All right. What if, okay, hold on. What if he waits till a night where she's having a little wine or something? All right. Mm-hmm. Wine is a great lubricant for women. They kind of just let things go a little bit, guys. Angie's turning red, just so that you know. But a little bit of wine, just get a little comfortable. Yeah, it's great. A little comfortable, and then he can approach her with the conversation like, "Hey, do you mind if I talk to you for a sec? you know, like I feel comfortable talking to you, you know, and I just want to let you know, like, I don't know, I'm a virgin and I'm having a lot of thoughts about like sex and whatever. And like, I'm worried about, you know, how it's going to be with girls. Like, do you mind if I ask you some questions about kind of, and I feel like if they have a talk about sex, she's been having a little drink, whatever. And he's like, well, you're an attractive woman. I'm sure lots of guys tried to hit on you. That no, really? Oh my God. If I would have totally hit on you and you know what I mean? Like start planting those little seeds. Fucking 10 minutes later, his buddy's coming home and there's fucking clothes all over the counter in the kitchen. And
it's almost like you're making like a porno movie. But
I am in my head.
The old school versions.
But don't you think if he asked her, like a great way to start talking about sex with her is to like be like, you start letting her know things that you want her to know. Like I'm a virgin, and that's going to make her nipples hard, even if she doesn't even act on it, just to hear like, oh, this young virile boy is a virgin. Oh, he's not been deflowered. She's like, I can't wait to crack open this case. Wait, you're dying laughing right now. But that's, and he hasn't even made a move yet. All he's done is plant that seed. But that is like the new iPhone, whatever, right? This fresh 18-year-old untouched virgin. Oh, still in its original packaging. I gotta have it. There, right, Angie, as a woman, there is something to that. Every woman definitely wants to take a guy's virginity, right? Let me shepherd you through this new part of your life. I've got some questions. And I'm just worried. Like I'm really interested in women, and like I'm getting these boners all the time. Like that'd be so funny. It was just like I'm getting boners all the time, and I don't know what to do with it. Like, does this look right? Just ask her. Does this look okay? Do you mind if I ask you? Do I have a nice cock? Like, try to find out from other girls if this is, you know, just play it off like he's interested in girls, and he's starting to you know. I just want to ask some questions about sex. Is that cool? Like, you know, like
well, the thing is that he's a gentleman. Like, I mean, he's not like those guys out there his age that's gonna go act a fool, I think. So the way you're saying it, yeah, I think if he did like throw little hints, just as she's been throwing little hints, not all the time.
Yeah.
But if he was to do that as well, I think he can slide in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, stick it in consensually.
Yeah, like
it's like right as he's about to put it in, he starts parting, just starts parting the lips a little bit with the head, and is like, "Wait a second,
God, okay.
hands are a form. Can you sign here? I want to make sure consensual." You gotta have the documentation, right? Handshake agreements don't work anymore. But no, that's a little too graphic. But that's yeah. So onesies, I want to know what you think. But we'll move on from that subject for now. I think, yeah, you and I both were like, dude, make it happen.
Yeah.
That is an awesome story. That is a story that you get to tell on boys' weekends and fucking house party. Like you get to tell that sort of Super Bowl Sundays for the rest of your life. I wish, like, oh, you lost your virginity to your fucking high school sweetheart. She had braces and you didn't know what the fuck was going on, and you were worried, and you guys were just, do you want to? Yeah, my friend's mom nailed her to the wall of the garage, buddy. Right as I climaxed, she accidentally bumped the button. The fucking garage door opened, and here I am banging her in front of the neighborhood. My buddy skateboards up the driveway. You know what I mean? He comes out, he's like, you fucking asshole. And you're like, hey, call me dad.
Go to your room.
Yeah. Okay. Son, go to your room. Your mother and I we have to finish up. Your mother and I are talking. We're saying dirty things to each other. Oh, that's probably upsetting to some people.
Probably, I'm sorry.
So,
sorry.
Angie, last thing we'll talk about here. Let me just cross off the note here that so-and-so bangs mom, gets her pregnant, and buddy kills. Oh, yeah. He was even saying like, well, if my buddy found out I fucked his mom, he'd probably kill himself. And I was like, that is the ultimate. Like, can you imagine that story? Not that I want anyone to kill themselves, but if that ended up being the story, it's like, yeah, how'd you lose your virginity? A lot of things happen that in a series of unfortunate events. I banged like my buddy's mom. I went to live with my buddy, end up banging his mom. He finds out, kills himself. Wild ride. That's the story of my virginity. Probably kill himself. I'm like, even better. That's the cherry on top. Not that he's dead, but just that your actions, a series of your actions, you losing your virginity equals to someone else taking their own life as a result. That's hilarious. It's like for me, like I've always wanted to, this is disgusting, but it's just funny because like guys laugh at farts. We think farts are funny. I think it would be hilarious if you farted so bad that someone threw up. Like that, just the smell coming out of you forced someone else to vomit. Something so out of your own control could have such a strong reaction to somebody else is hysterical to me. Absolutely hysterical. All right. Then the last thing we have here is the box that I sent. We talked about how we got everything together, some different things. So I'm going to just pull up the picture here so I can do a couple things. And I believe we talked very briefly about someone's already liked my picture. My buddy Jad has liked my picture of the beautiful Holly Earl.
Nice.
Oh, geez. Oh, Chance is saying goodnight. So just so we know, he's not in the background there.
Okay.
I'm going to get the picture of the bars of a chocolate, which we've already established in the States. You guys call them candy bars, which I just thought was something different, but chocolate bars, candy bars, it is all the same, baby. So, Angie, we had some stuff here. Let's hit with a couple things. So, I sent you those Hawkins cheesies, right? Because that was something that was on a list of stuff that wasn't there. What did you think of those bad boys?
They're good. Very different from the American version, obviously. Yeah. The cheese flavor is also different because ours has that cheesy flavor to it. This one has that cheddar flavor.
Yeah.
So even though it says they're Cheetos, it just tastes like, Cheetos. It doesn't have that flavor of what the orange iodine. You get more of the orange iodine all over the place than you do of the flavor, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. So you find it does taste more like cheddar on the Hawkins ones?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. They're actually pretty, believe it or not, pretty cheddary up here. So maybe what I'll do next time I send you a box is I'll send you a box of the Cheetos ones. Because I find that the very similar, not identical, but very, very similar. And literally go to tap it and the phone fucking goes off again. Gosh darn it. Okay, a big one for us here, Canadians. Lay's ketchup chips. So the ketchup flavor. Again, I can send you other ones. The ketchup's going to taste the same on all of them for the most part.
Okay.
What did you think of the ketchup chips?
Oh, favorite. I love them.
Yeah?
They have a little bit like when you open the bag, they smell like ketchup. Like me and my husband were like, oh my God, you smell that? Like it literally smells like you poured a bottle of ketchup in there.
Yeah.
But when you tried it, it had a little bit of hint of the flavor of the ketchup that you would think you would have, but it had more of that dill pickle. Also,
yeah, it's almost like a sweetness to it. Almost there's like a little bit of a sweetness too. It's interesting. So yeah, and funny enough, I forgot of this just till now. You know what I can send you, Ange? Do you guys have Kernels in the States? Is that a brand there? Okay, Kernels has the shakers. They have the ketchup flavor in a shaker. So I can send you that and you can put that ketchup seasoning on whatever you want.
Oh, that's really cool.
Cool.
I did not know that. Yeah.
I don't know if it would work if you just shook it into a bag of Lay's, if it would stick to the chips properly or something, but the Kernels, they'll do like the ketchup popcorn and you'll get that ketchup flavor on the popcorn.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I can send that to you if you want to make popcorn, shake it on there. That's one thing, but I don't know. I actually have one downstairs that I never use because I never make popcorn.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, get it and put it on that. And then I just never do it. And then of course, another flavor that I didn't know was not available is, all dressed. So I sent you Ruffles all dressed. What did you think of those?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. They're so addicting.
Yeah.
I wanted to continue. It's just a shame. I just finished them. I didn't even give my husband a chance to share it. I was.
Oh, he never tried it?
You know what? I mean, he tried it. He liked it, but it was again, he's more of a sweet person, candy person. But I killed the bag. When we first tried it, we had a handful just to taste it, and then we were like, okay, we hardly get it, so let's munch on it here and there. No, I killed it. I was like, nah, not gonna last. And just every freaking chip, you just keep getting you. You're like, okay, I'm going to stop. No, I killed it. And then I licked my finger and licked the seasoning like the freaking, I did all of that. Well,
in the bag. Yeah, she's like scraping the bag. Yeah.
Scraping the bag with my finger and saliva like a freaking idiot. But it was delicious. So yeah, that's my favorite. Those two are my favorite. The ketchup and the all dressed. Mm-hmm.
Fair. Well, I'll make sure that I send you a big ass fucking Costco sized bag of those. Yeah. And I'll do the Doritos ketchup too, so that we can actually try Doritos ketchup. They're
that's right.
Fucking incredible.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I find that the all dressed is kind of like ketchup. Like there's a bit of a sweetness, but the way they described it was like you get your salt and vinegar, your sour cream and onion, and your barbecue all rolled into one. Because it has a bit of a creaminess, but it still has the sweetness from barbecue, the kind of hint. So I just found it interesting that it was like that. We had, we'll move into the maple cookies. We sent you the maple cookies. So for everyone who knows, it was the Dare brand maple cookies. What did you guys think of those?
We're almost done with them.
Oh yeah?
Because my husband's a coffee drinker, so he will have like 2 or 3 with the coffee, and I'm not, but I'll just munch on it here and there, or like you said, try dunking it in milk, and I'll dunk it in milk or chocolate milk, and it's still so good.
Yeah,
the maple inside of it, it's just beautiful.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. We sent you the Swedish Berries, so 2 different Maynards ones. We sent Swedish Berries and wine gums. What did you think of those? Okay,
so the Swedish Berry, when I first tried it, really freaked me out. Okay. When you grab it, it feels hard on the outside, right? Okay. So I put it in my mouth, and when you bite, it was like a burst of fucking berries just everywhere in your mouth. It was like a little overwhelming at first, and I was like this close to spitting it out.
Really?
But then, you have to give it a chance. So I was like, kept chewing it. And I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be so soft.
Yeah.
And there's no liquid, but it felt like there was liquid in there. And the berry is very strong. The sugar was very strong as well. But I will admit, I did like them. They
grew on you kind of thing?
Yeah. I didn't know. I wasn't expecting that. That's why. It's just that, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, it's a bit hard of a candy, a little bit. Just the outside, like a crisp part. But when you bite into it, it's immediately soft and it melts in your mouth instantly. Yeah. So, but it was really good. I did like that one.
Nice. What did your husband think? Did he enjoy them?
I don't think he's tried that one yet.
Really? And he's got a big sweet tooth. If he really likes sweet stuff, that one.
He hasn't tried that one yet. No.
That'll be interesting. Okay, if he tries it, you got to let me know what he thinks of those ones.
Definitely.
What'd you think of the wine gums?
I like them because less sugar.
Yep.
They're way big compared to what I thought they would be, because we know we have the gummy bears and they're like really tiny.
Yeah.
But I did like them. I love the flavor. They were chewy, just like a gummy bear, but just less sugar, which is interesting because it's good to have. Like if you're watching a movie, just get a little handful, munch out or whatever. I really like those. Those were good too.
Nice. Now we're moving into. I'm saving your personal favorite for last, just because everyone can listen to you rant and rave about those. But we'll do the chocolate bars. We actually did the Cadbury fingers. So it's just like basically chocolate covered cookie sticks. It's like Pocky, only I think Pocky, to me, Pocky is more like a pretzel that's covered in chocolate. Do you know what I mean? Like just like a pretzel. Like I know it's cookie, but it almost like to me, it doesn't taste sweet. It doesn't taste sweet to me. It tastes like, it's almost like it tastes like chocolate on a cracker stick. Versus, but the Cadbury fingers, the cookie is sweet too. Like there's actually sugar in that cookie. I think, because I know Pocky. But anyways, yeah, it's the same idea. Yeah. Like I said, they weren't anything special. They were chocolate covered cookie sticks, and I was if you can't get them,
we can't get them here. Yeah, and I like them. They were good.
And it's the same Cadbury chocolate that would have been featured on your Crispy Crunch. Your I don't think you've had the caramel yet. Did I send you?
Yeah, that's the one I haven't tried so far.
Okay, I don't know if caramel is Cadbury. It looks like the only Cadbury I sent you was Crispy Crunch. Cadbury. Oh, does it say Cadbury? Okay, cool. All right, so that was some of the ones that are on the list. And Cadbury Caramel and Cadbury Crispy Crunch. So the Cadbury fingers, it's the same chocolate that's on that.
Okay.
You did so Crispy Crunch thoughts? Like, you don't have to go. It's up to you. You can say as little or as much as you want. I'm not trying to make you write a book report on each one. But
Crispy Crunch.
Crispy Crunch. That was the first one you tried that had like the toffee, the peanut butter. This guy right here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Why can't I find it over here? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this one's more like a Butterfinger. It's very hard.
Yeah,
and the maple on it's very hard. It's very crispy. It's just not my kind
too
of
sweet. The toffee makes your teeth stick together.
Oh yeah, there you go. And then after eating it and like you're completely done swallowing it, there's still maple stuck, in your teeth and stuff like that. But I mean, it was good. Just for me personally, my
too
opinion.
Sweet.
Too sweet, and the maple, the crunchiness was a little too hard. It's just not my go-to. I mean, I liked it, but would I buy it again? No. Or I didn't buy it.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, but it's not.
I was to go, yeah.
That makes sense. And it's the same thing too. Like I sent you guys a bunch of different kinds of chocolate bars. No one's going to the store and being like, I love all of them. Like that's the thing with having a bunch of different chocolate bars. You pick some ones you like, but you got to send everything. If you can't get it, you got to send everything to try it. So totally, I totally get it. Yeah, not all of these that I sent are ones that would be my go-tos either. Like for example, Smarties. You guys have M&Ms. We have M&Ms as well too, but we have Smarties as well. What did you think of Smarties?
Same thing, similar to Smarties, except for these are a lot bigger.
Oh, are they?
I think that coating, these are bigger than the M&Ms, and the coating on the outside is pretty thick compared to the M&M. M&Ms are very thin. It has that thin layer of coating. So when you hold it, sometimes you feel it melting like into your finger already because of your...
Is it M&Ms that say melt in your mouth, not in your hands?
I think, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because if it was Smarties, have you heard that saying before? Melts in your mouth, not in your hands?
No.
Okay, then that might be... we're going to have to fucking Google it.
Is it the M&Ms? It could be the M&Ms.
Yeah, melts...
I'm not sure.
Melts in your mouth.
These are way bigger than M&Ms.
Melts in your mouth. Oh, no, the melts in your mouth is a saying. Not in your hands. Let's see whose slogan that was. M&Ms were widely available at the popular slogan, melts in your mouth, not in your hands. Okay, because I was going to say maybe that was Smarties' slogan because the shells are things, so they don't melt in your hands. But melts in your mouth, not in your hands is M&Ms. So that's the M&Ms one. Yeah, again, I thought too. That's why I even think when it told you when I sent them, I'm like, they're like M&Ms. I don't find a big difference. Apparently, there's more colors because they got like blue and pink and stuff like that in Smarties. So apparently a little more colorful.
These are way colorful.
Kit Kat. The Canadian Kit Kat, because you guys have Kit Kat in the States, but apparently, according to Red, she says that they're different.
They are different. To make it easier, it's less sugar.
Okay.
And because of that, the chocolate's the same, and I think a lot of it has to do with the sugar, the sugar that they pour in there. It's less compared to the Kit Kat here in America.
Really, the Kit Kats there are sweeter.
They are, and I find those. I mean, I would still eat these. These are really good. It's just that I feel like the Kit Kat that we make, or Americans that are from here, taste a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I know you sent me one, so I'm excited to taste it too and see the difference.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I can't wait to hear what you have.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited. And if you want, we can do this again when I get my box and I'll go through some of the stuff and we can chat about all the different stuff. It's a cool little thing to try things that it's so interesting to me.
That you don't get a hold of. It's not an everyday. I mean, unless I would never try this. Or have tried any of these foods and snacks and stuff if there wasn't for you.
Oh, well.
So, I appreciate it.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
It was my pleasure. I was happy to do it. And it's funny. It's almost like when you're, it's so stupid because it's just snack foods, but it's almost like when you have a friend that comes to visit your city, they've never seen it, and you get to take them on a little tour. Like, it reminds you a little appreciation of I forgot, I can have it any time, so I never even think about it. But you're like, and then I'm starting to remember as a kid having some of these, and I remember trying those, and I remember this and that. As much as I don't eat them a lot now, it's like, I remember my first time, and it is kind of an interesting thing. And if you can't get it, it's just fun and nostalgic to an extent, being able to play around with some of this stuff. So Mars bar. What'd you think of the Mars?
Okay, the Mars bars was a little too much for me. It's just caramel in the middle with chocolate on the outside. Tastes like a Snickers, just not the nuts in the middle.
Yeah, And you were saying that you like the crunch of like the peanuts. You like
I like a little bit of crunch or something. Like again, everyone has their own opinion, and everyone has their own preference on what they like and stuff like that. I know I said earlier, like the crispy crunch was too hard. I'm like, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Like, I don't want it too hot, too cold.
Great reference. And I know exactly what you mean. You're like, this was too hot, this was too cold. But
yeah, so it just maybe if there was something inside it again, because I'm so used to the Snickers, it would have been great. It tastes like a Snickers. You expect it to taste like Snickers. It's just there's no nuts inside it. Yeah. But I mean, it's a good bar. Would I go and get it? No.
It's a lot of sugar, and it's a the
lot. Thing. It's just a lot.
Yeah. And it's funny because now you watch that comedy clip with K. Trevor Wilson talking about how everyone in the States is like, rolled in batter, dipped in butter, and had like a Mars bar stuck in it. And now you know what he's talking about, having a Mars bar stuck in it. Yeah, even though it's not available in the vast majority of the states. Because I remember when I was in Scotland, one of the little places I went for fish and chips did deep fried Mars bars. So they'll roll the Mars bar in batter and throw it in a deep fryer. So imagine like a battered version of that. You get that and you bite into it, but everything's soft and melty when you bite into it. It's got a nice crispy breading on the outside.
Crazy.
You bite into it and it's soft and melty. So apparently deep fried Mars bars are very popular.
Wow.
I only got one, and by the time we Ubered back to the hotel and I'd finished the food that I was getting, whatever, it had gotten cold. So like imagine eating like a cold McDonald's French fry version of of Mars bar. It was still sweet and still had breading, but it wasn't the same as like fresh, hot, crispy. Like it had been basically allowed to re-solidify because it got cold. Okay, so I was just eating a Mars bar that had bread on it. That's basically all I had. It wasn't horrible, but I was like, I don't see the allure, but I also didn't eat it the way it was meant to be eaten. You know what I mean? Have you ever eaten Domino's pizza 20 minutes afterwards? It's turned back into cardboard again. You got to eat it fresh. That's it. There's some pizzas that do not reheat. You got to eat them fresh, and that's it. Other pizzas, you can put them in the oven the next day and warm them up. What's that?
I like cold pizza.
I don't mind cold pizza, but some pizzas, like when you reheat them, they just taste gross, whereas some will reheat nice and they're still edible the next day. But that's another conversation for another day. We have O. Henry. What did you think of O. Henry? It was like a Snickers bar to the next.
Oh, that's the first one. Yeah, this is the first one. This one's good. Yeah. This one was like reminded me of a Payday, except for that it less caramel, or this doesn't have caramel, does it?
It's got this weird peanut buttery kind of center thing to it. It's like chocolate, peanut butter. I don't know if there's caramel.
Chewy fudge. Creamy caramel covered in a chocolate coating.
Sweet.
What else? Okay, the rest is in French. But it reminds me of a Payday, just chocolate over the Payday, and it's really good. And we got it cold, so that was good too. Like we put it in the fridge.
Oh, you tried the O. Henry cold?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's, good. I love it.
Nice.
Me and the hubby love it. We only have. Oh well, we had to share this bar, but.
Yeah.
The other one I'm saving it for my mom because
she hasn't had one in a long time. Well, she'll be happy, and I can send more of them on the next one. I've curated this. We're down to the last couple, or last couple bars, and then one more thing. Coffee Crisp. You had the Coffee Crisp.
Yes. This one I really loved. I'm not a candy person or anything, but this one I did love. The Coffee Crisp is so delicious. It's like I don't know if you guys have these. What are they called?
Like the wafer cookies, or
it's like the wafer. They're not cookies. You know what I'm talking about? They're like rectangled.
Yep.
And they got the chocolate, and they have like that weird up and down bumps. What is it called?
Yeah. Well, they call them wafer cookies. They're basically like sticks, and you can get like vanilla ones or strawberry ones, and all these different kind of like.
They're called Nutty Bars.
Oh, it's a watch. I saw it for half a second before it switched. Oh, yeah, we have those here. The little Debbie ones.
That's what this tastes like, except for it has a hint of coffee in it, and this is like super thick. So it has so many wafers in between them. Yeah. In this.
I'm gonna have if you don't have the little wafer cookies in the States, like the Voortman's is a brand that does them, but if you guys don't have those, I'm gonna have to make sure that those end up in your next box. Because if you like that wafer cookie thing, like we have wafer cookies that are like vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, peanut butter. Like you can get, and that's just basically it's just the wafer. There isn't even any chocolate on the outside of it. It's quite literally just the wafer cookies. So if you like less sweet, I'll send that to you. And it's basically like wafer cream. And the idea with the coffee crisp is just that wafer cream is like a coffee flavored one. And then surrounded in chocolate. Okay. But did you try it regular and in the freezer?
I haven't tried the freezer one, just the regular one. I just opened these up 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So like they're, and I'm keeping them in a Ziploc bag so that way.
Fair. Did the hubby get to try the coffee crisp?
Yes.
What did he think?
He liked it, of course. Definitely loved it.
Sweet.
But I'm keeping him from eating them all up. I was like, don't eat them all because I got to save them for the podcast. Yeah, after the podcast, we can eat what we want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, free for all. The last chocolate bar we saved, I guess, for you to do like a live taste here on the podcast. So the last one, Cadbury Caramel.
The caramel, which is, I wonder if this is going to taste like what we have here. What is it called? It's just a little cube caramel, but there's no chocolate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, like Milk Duds or something like that. So this one, the caramel is actually soft inside. So when you bite into it, you're not. It's not hard chewy. It's quite literally just chocolate with nice soft caramel on the inside. Almost like a box of chocolates when you bite into it, and there's caramel on the inside. Mm-hmm. But like
actually, this is good.
Yeah, you like it?
I like it. I mean, the caramel is all over the place. It's really, really gooey.
Yeah.
I like that. You know what I mean?
The slogan.
I think this would taste better if it was cold.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. I know a lot of people like to freeze chocolate bars now. I didn't even know that was a thing until a few years ago, and I was like, "No, it works." I put a coffee crisp in the freezer, and it's. I like the cold when it's cold and it has still all the flavor, whatever.
I think this one would taste better.
The commercials and the slogan for the caramel bars were always like, "How do they get the caramel in the caramel bars?" Like that was the whole thing. Was like, well, fuck, I'm sure pretty easily. But there was all these commercials with people like trying to get. They called it the caramel secret, and there was all these contests of like. Write us in and tell us how you think we get the caramel in the caramel bar and all that shit like that. It was just, that was their thing. How do they do it? Whatever. Smarties' slogan was, when you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? No idea why that was the color that they chose to distinguish as the special one, but it was like, when you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? Like it was just stupid, but just to share some of the little crap that goes along with it. It's like the same as like trying Lucky Charms if you've never heard of them or tried them before. And then it's like, well, there was also the Lucky was, they're always after me, Lucky Charms. Like just knowing the stupid caricature bullshit that goes with it. So the last thing, good. Caramel, thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Yes.
Groovy. Do you think the hubby's going to like it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's going to say no to most of these candies at all.
Fair. But the one, Angie, that you have decided needs to be locked behind a double key safe wall.
Yes.
Because they're going to go, when you opened the box, we were on FaceTime together and you're like, I'm trying this right away. You got your first taste of a Joe Louis. Tell me, Angie, what do you think of Joe Louis?
How do I explain this? It's like Christmas, birthday, Halloween, fireworks, everything all at the same time. It is so freaking good. It's addicting. It's nothing compared to the ones that we have here, which is that little cupcake, like Hosties or whatever.
Hostess cupcakes or something they call them. With the little swirly white circles on the top.
Yeah, on the top. And then it's that cream filling in the middle, but it's like a very small little piece of cream filling.
Yeah.
This one looks like a big water, well, you guys don't have Whataburger. This is like a big burger cookie or whatever this cupcake thingy is, and it's all in the middle of that white stuff.
Yeah.
But then the bread is like not too hard, it's not too soft. It is like a lot of people are not going to like this word, but it's moist.
Yeah.
And it's just,
why don't people like that word? I find it moist too. Like it's good. It's the right kind of cake. It's the right kind of cake. It's not dry, because some of them will crush the icing, but then the cake is dry and you're like, gross. And then some of them it's like, but the chocolate sucks. Or it's like literally two pieces of nice moist chocolate cake with a nice white vanilla cream on the inside, and then the whole thing is chocolate covered. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I remember I think I wrote it in a little slip that I sent you guys, is that when you were a kid in school at lunch, like I know Twinkies are big in the States, but I was like in at least in my city, you know, if you got a Twinkie in your lunch, it's because I said your parents didn't love you enough to send you to school with a Joe Louis. And it's like the same price and everything. They're found right next to each other in the fucking aisles. It's just the Joe Louis is superior. Twinkie is like the cream. It's almost like what you described with the Hostess cake, where it's like a line of cream in the middle. It's more.
No, it's like a circle. It's just like in a little circle.
Right,
like,
but I mean, a Twinkie has the line of cream right through the middle.
Oh, the Twinkie.
It's not like layered right through the middle of the whole thing. There's actually these things that we had here called Loon Moons. I don't know if you guys had them in the States, but it was basically like half of a Joe Louis, and it was vanilla cake. So there was no what do you call it? I was going to read your message. There's no garage door. There was no chocolate coating. It was just. It was basically like the same size, only vanilla cake, white icing on the inside, and then cut in half. It would be like a half. They call it a half moon. Go do your thing. I'll keep the people entertained momentarily.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
No apology necessary at all. We're like almost an hour over. So Angie's just going to go let her better half in, open the garage door. I was like, I'm getting a message from her while I'm talking. But yeah, so I found that stuff. I went through a lot of different articles and things like that to see what I could find. But it was so cool that she liked the Joe Louis. And I actually recently saw at Costco while I was doing these Nespresso Road shows that they have these like double Joe Louis now, where it's like cake, icing, cake, and then the whole thing's, you know, dipped in chocolate or whatever. And I tried to find them at the Costco that I'm in right now. They didn't have them. They had that. There's like 5 locations I've been in for the Nespresso stuff. And yeah, so I'm going to go to the other locations. I'm going to go back to one of the ones I was at and make sure I get you a box of those double ones.
Oh,
so
yes.
All the stuff that you
love. 2 right now, and I'm
You're down to the last 2?
I'm down to the last 2, and the thing is, I have the box out, but now I gotta go hide it because I took it out. Now he's getting home, and now he's gonna hear me, and I'm like, no, he knows.
Would he be willing? He doesn't have to do it on camera or say anything, but would he be willing to try the caramel and then tell you what you think? You can share it with us if he likes it. Is that something that he'd be willing to do, or?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Like he can tell you off camera. I'll sit here and run my mouth. Yeah. Do you think he'd be willing to do that?
Yeah. I would. Let me just go mute.
Yeah. Do your thing. I'll just run my mouth as I'm known to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and I'll tell the listeners there. Angie sent me a box of stuff too, and I'm very fortunate because she's sending a bunch of stuff that's like traditional Mexican. Some of them are candies, some of them are like crunchies and stuff like that. She thinks she's mute. She's not mute. I'm gonna have to mute her.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We can hear you. Which is fine. And for his sake too, because I know that he's not a big on camera guy or anything like that. So I'm just trying to be respectful of that. But we've got some like traditional Mexican candies, some traditional Mexican snack foods. We've got some like little spices. We've got some hot sauces. Angie is sending me a butthole burner ramen noodles. So I think, you know what? Actually, that, in all fairness, this is a great part of the story because that's kind of what started all this. Angie was having ramen one night and she was chatting with us in the group. And then the boys, the young pups in the group were like, oh, I want to try some ramen, whatever. And Angie was just like, cool. She like sent them on Amazon because they're in the States. It's nice and easy. She sent them like a little pack of ramens from Amazon. And then she's like, oh, and there's like a really spicy one. She sent them that one too. And then the next couple of days, like we were doing these little FaceTime things where one of them would like, I think I was chatting with Chad and he was like, I'm going to make one of those things. And I just watched him like choke down this super hot bowl of ramen. He's like, so hot. It's so hot. And then we watched, I guess the next night, Angie made one. And I swear to God, like there's porno with less sexual, deep breathing, gasping for air. Oh, ooh, ooh. It was so funny to listen to. She's fanning her face. She's like, oh, ooh, so hot. Ooh, it's so hot. Ooh. I was just like, geez, we're all dying laughing and she's suffering, but it was so funny. And I'm like, I got to try this stuff, guys. I mean, when we started talking about like, well, you can't get in here. She's like, yeah, I'll see if I can send you some. And we started chatting about it, and that was kind of the genesis of that. So one of these super hot things is actually in the on its way. And I'm trying to think if how to do it. I'm thinking I almost want to do like a Facebook live video of me eating this thing, or I just record it and put it up later. Or I do it on the podcast. I make it and I taste it on the podcast. But I would hate to do it like it's tough because I think what I'd have to do is I'd have to pause mid-recording.
Oh, okay.
Go make it, because there's no way I could be like, all right, guys, I can't have it sitting here getting cold. I couldn't do it at the beginning of the episode because if it burns my face, I can't finish the episode trying to talk dead. And at the same time, it's got to be fresh. So what I might have to do is I might have to record the first part of the episode, pause the recording, go make it, come back. All right, guys. And I'm back with the fucking mouth blaster, you know what I mean? And then just go from there. It'll be a 1 second wait for the audience, but I think that's how I would have to organize it so that I could just like, motherfucker, or whatever. I was like, what's wrong with this stuff?
The good thing is that if you do it, I like to let it sit for like 2 minutes, just to cool down. Like, because if you eat it straight up hot, not only is it going to be flavor like hot, like spicy hot, crazy hot, you also got temperature hot. So then both of them together, that's extremely hot, and that's just way too hot for me. Yeah. So just so I can enjoy it, not have my tongue burn, as in temperature wise. Yeah. I let it sit for like a minute or two before I start eating it. But I think it doesn't matter whether you wait, whether it's cold or not,
it's gonna suck.
Hot, or it's still gonna tear up your mouth. It's gonna be terrible. But it's good. The thing, and that's what I was explaining to you guys and the boys, is that I like this ramen. I eat it every other day or almost every day. And the thing is that it has a beautiful flavor in it. It's like that because it has chicken flavor in there. So it has that beautiful flavor, but of course it has that hot spiciness in it. And I still love that as well. And I'll still eat it. It's really, really good. But I just really can't wait for you to try and be part of the
the fucking mouthgasm people there. Well, my thoughts were this, because I know you sent me like the regular one that you eat normally, and then the stupid hot
the regular one, and then the crazy. That one I'll eat like not every day, but
it's like there's Catholics that like punish themselves when they've been bad, like they whip themselves back. That's like the Mexican punishment is they force you to eat like mouth burning fucking food. Is like you're like whenever I'm bad, I eat one of those things.
Jesse. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
And I said his name so loud. I got distracted. I'm so sorry about that. No, yes. I grew up with spicy stuff, so I'm used to having spicy foods and stuff like that. So it doesn't bother me. So when I found this, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. And then I'm addicted to it. But yes, the one that I sent you, I do eat that one on a regular basis. But the crazy hot one, that one's going to be,
Would you suggest, because part of me was like, I think I should eat the regular one first to give myself an idea of what is coming from the other one, as opposed to just starting with the insane one and be
no. I would
start with the regular, and the regular one's fine, right? It's a little spicy, but it's not going to ruin my life.
Well, when I first tried it, I thought it was crazy spicy for me.
The regular one.
The regular one.
Oh,
wow. It was the first time I tried it. So I was dying. I was just like, oh my gosh, I was sweating everywhere. And, but after, I want to say like, it didn't take long. After the third or fourth try, I got adjusted to the heat, the spiciness. So it's good. I like it. But I would recommend trying that first so you know what you're walking into when you try the 2 times one. Okay. That one's just extremely, extremely hot.
I feel so like
you can prepare yourself.
Oh, I get horrible acid reflux, so I feel like I need to take like my strong prescription medication first, wait like an hour, and then just destroy the lining of my stomach with that one.
No, I wouldn't wait an hour. I would do it 30 or 15 minutes prior, especially if you say you have all of that or whatever. Because you still want it in your stomach when you're putting this in. You don't want it to already leave your stomach.
No, my prescription stuff is like a painkiller for it. It's not it's not an antacid. It's like a prescription, like makes you It's
okay.
Tough.
Then definitely Then
but I'll take that one and make sure that it's working before I do that. And that's probably one of those things where I'll do it once and then I'll live the rest of my days with it. So I'm excited to try it. You guys put yourselves through it. I'm gonna make it your way where you fry an egg and stick it in there too, and kind of just chop it up with it or whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. But Angie's sending me some of that stuff. She's sending me a hot sauce. What was it? Butthole burner or backdoor blowout or something? What's it called?
What was it called?
Ass blaster.
Ass blaster. There
Yeah.
you go. It was an ass blaster.
That's
And
going
it
to
has
be
a
great.
donkey or like some type of horse in the front of it.
Oh, that's going to be so funny. I can't wait. I think I told Simon that we'd try to get some wings from the store and then we'd maybe do wings on it or something like that.
Oh
And
yeah,
try
definitely.
that. That sounds like so much fun. And there's also, like, I got the cake. You're sending me a Payday and a Almond Joy or whatever it's called, like different
Payday.
things.
Oh yeah, Almond Joy, Mounds.
Yeah.
What else? There's so many. So I wish I could have sent you more.
No, it was
But,
it was fantastic. Like I said, it's just fun, and we've got. I feel like it's something that every once in a while we'll try to find little things and we'll send each other these little boxes of things.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. I think it's a really cool thing. So yeah, no, it was fun. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I think I'll probably end up getting a bunch of little things and I'll do like one of the episodes. I'll just do like a live sort of, we're doing this and we'll see what this is. I think that mine might even show up tomorrow or whatnot. So tomorrow's Monday. So who knows? I'm off tomorrow too. That would be great if it showed up tomorrow and I could even do it.
I hope so because it was telling me Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So
Sorry. I thought you said Monday, Tuesday. My apologies.
No.
But
it was showing me Tuesday or Wednesday.
Either way, I've got a day off on Thursday. I'm going to get, it's funny. I'm getting dental work done on Thursday. So I have to, if it came before, I should probably do it. Oh my God. It's almost like, do I want the pain in my mouth or do I want the pain in my ass or whatever it is? Like the pain in my stomach, like just put myself through the ringer that every hole in my body hurts. But I'm excited.
Make sure you chew it. Just chew it up here, so that way it doesn't burn as bad down the other way.
That's awesome. So I'm going to do a quick little plug for my partners at DK. I was going to do a different book, but I think next week it's a little closer to Halloween, and that's one that I'm really looking forward to talking about. Yeah. But I've got this book from DK. It's called Words in Progress. And what it is it says the only way to become a writer is to write. It is the only prerequisite. Allow yourself to stray from rules and limits within these pages. Put pen to paper and honor whatever it is that first comes to you to write. For now, these words in progress are only for you. Your skills will develop. You will not run out of ideas. The more words you leave here, the more worlds will come to you. All you have to do is relax and write without guilt or embarrassment. So crack the spine of the Creative Writer's Guided Journal once a day or once a week and fill its pages. By the end, look back at your words and discover the writer who has always been within you. And it's by Sammy Labue, Labue. And so the idea is I saw this thing, and I asked my good partners, my favorite people on the planet sometimes is DK. Love them so much. DK.com in the States, DK.com/CA in Canada, or just Google DK Books wherever you are. And it says, Dear Writer. So this is just the foreword because it's all about it's basically a bunch of little writing exercises at the top of the page and then room to write these things on it. So it's kind of like a little journal and writing exercises and just sort of, those kind of things. But it says, Dear Writer, that's right, I mean you. Just by picking up this notebook, you have made a commitment to your voice that not everyone is brave enough to make. Every day, in person or online, I meet with other people who are ready to write, yet are not ready to are not ready to dub themselves writers. By the end of our prompt writing session, that fear always seems to fade away. The only way to become a writer is to write. It is the only prerequisite. I hope you allow yourself to stray from the rules. Isn't this exactly what it says in the cover? To write. For now, these words are only for you. Your skills develop. Yeah. And then it says, I hope you crack the spine of this book once a day or once a week and fill its pages. By the end, I hope you'll look back. Yeah, that's what's on the front. And it says developing ideas. Think of the last time you had an idea. Maybe you were looking out a bus window or lying in the grass and a story came to you, or a beautiful image, or a line in a poem you hadn't written yet. These moments of inspiration can feel like nothing short of magic, exciting but fickle. But developing creative ideas has less to do with sorcery than it has to do with your mind being open and willing. In fact, at every moment there are endless ideas in you. All you need to do is relax and cast out a line to catch one. As writers, we have two entry points into our well of ideas, through our memories or our imagination. In this section, you will practice exploring your memories, engaging your imagination, and finding that sweet spot where the two meet. So at the top of the pages, guys, in the book, there's little exercises they do. Some of the pages have dots. Some of them are just line pages, but, odes to objects, memory scan, all these different things that you can do, the things you carry, what to wear. So it's a really cool writing exercise book, but the idea is, of course, it's no judgment. It's like a journal. You can't write the wrong thing in your journal or whatever. The idea is it's just something to get you writing. I can't wait to play with this book. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's great. that's it. That's what I'm plugging this week. When I saw it, I was like, what a great way to just kind of, sometimes you don't know what to write about. So this is just something really nice at the top of the page, a couple of sentences to just kind of get your mind pointed in a direction and then just fire off the sharding pistol and you go with yourself. So Words in Progress. You can find it at DK. Gang, that's the book this week. I would definitely say if you want to get the juices flowing, that's the one to do. And that is the podcast, guys. We just crossed the 2-hour mark. Angie, I'm sorry I took up so much of your time, but I love having you. It's so much fun. We got to talk about so many different things. So many different things.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I think that there's probably, if it's okay with you, I probably, once I receive that box, I'm probably going to ask you to come back on while I share with you the things that you sent me, if you're cool with that.
That's fine.
Yeah? Did you have a good time this time? Did you feel less nervous than last time?
Yeah.
yeah. Get out of here. Okay. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in. As always, the email address is contact@onemanpodcast.com. If anything we talked about, let us know. What movies did you like? What games are you playing? Do you think that guy should fuck his buddy's mom? What kind of candy bars are in your area that you can't get anywhere else? Send it all in. I'll read it on the podcast. And until then, I'll chat with you guys again soon.